Greetings all, and welcome back to another episode of the Pro Crastinators podcast. I'm Nate Bodsman. We're joined by Ben
the Bod Saint.
Yeah, that's the one.
And Hippo.
Justify your existence.
Did you say Hippo?
I did not. I was still asking you to justify. Okay, Hippo's here, guys.
I can't do that.
Bib and Bake is here.
Hey guys, I'm here to bake cake. You know, I'm absolutely certain that.
By the way, Gib, I'm sorry. This episode is sponsored by the bee emoji, the big red bee emoji.
Venus,
okay,
yes, cool.
I prefer the blue one, but all right.
Okay.
For all of the millions of people who are currently typing, "Oh my God, Ben and Nate on the fucking PCP," I can't believe it. I gotta unsubscribe right now. They say the 15th time they've said it.
Hippo, I saw your comment on the last episode, and I really liked it.
As much as I love people shitting on Ben, you gotta give him a chance, ladies and gentlemen.
So you don't have to go by. Someone made a comment that was just like, saw Ben was on this episode, canceled, deleted, and Hippo was like, guy, you don't have to be afraid of him.
I know.
If I can bear Ben's presence,
Crossing.
I think you can too, ladies and gentlemen. And I have to live with him. I mean,
Nate tolerates
sort of.
it.
Yeah.
All the rest of
then again, I get paid.
You
have to pay, and that's great.
They love it.
Well, there it is.
They love fin-doming us. Wait, are they fin-doming us, or are we fin-doming them?
What is?
I think we're fin-doming them.
Is fin-doming where you're, like there's a furry dolphin?
It's
and
that
then
guy
dominatrix?
from Adventure Time where he tells you what to do. He puts you in a hat.
I can't hear anything. It's my fault, but I will quickly say that fin-doming is when you're like, haha, hey, you fat loser who I will never have sex with. Give me money, and then they do.
Right, like watching an episode of Adventure Time. It's great.
Sounds like just bullying, but smart.
Well, yeah. I mean, the same way that cuckoldry can be, and originally was, just simply a fetish that some people enjoyed, even though they are weirdos. But, it's okay to be a weirdo sometimes.
Speaking of weirdos, all right, here's what I've been thinking about all the time, every day, all day, and especially just right now, is the Digi's neurotyping chart that came out, and the whole, lexical and impressionist and lateral and linear, and putting yourself on the chart, and thinking about the chart and seeing where other things go on the chart. And I really like charts. I really like it. I wish Digi was here to talk about it a little more, because I'm big stupid. Well, I'm not stupid, right? But I always thought I was stupid until I realized I think in colors and shapes and feelings and entire videos, like instead of words. And that
doesn't rule you out from also being stupid.
Yes, this is also a case.
Okay.
But it's like, I was just thinking today, it's like, wouldn't it be great if instead of somebody asked me a question, and I have to think of all the words that
I'm back.
Creates.
What did I miss?
We're talking about Digi's neurotyping.
Can you hear me? It's still.
We can.
It still
hear
says
you.
I'm
we
muted.
can hear you.
It still says I'm muted. Okay, whatever.
Well, okay.
If you hear me, it's fine. All right, there we go.
Yes, yeah.
Anyway, what did I miss?
Eleazar, cut that.
No.
No, that was gold. Okay, I'm sorry.
Neurotyping we're talking about.
What is all this I've been hearing about neurotyping?
It's when lol. That's what all you need to know.
Okay, I'm listening.
So, all right, I was thinking about the fact that I am pretty impressionist on this chart, this made up bullshit chart, but it does say some truths in a way.
What chart?
The neurotyping.
Oh, Ben
chart.
doesn't even know the basics.
You don't even
I
know
don't
the
know
basics.
what you're talking about.
Did you?
I've been seeing this word thrown around a lot.
All right, I will try to explain. There is two axes. And
wait, is it galaxy brain versus smooth brain, cringe versus based?
No,
that was the third.
I think that was one I made.
It was. What was the third axis?
Oh, cringe and based.
Wrinkle versus
cringe and base. Cringe and base was one.
Galaxy,
smooth brain and galaxy brain. And there's a third one.
Was it big brain versus small? Did you?
No, that's smooth and galaxy.
Oh.
It's is it Chad versus Virgin?
Oh yeah, Chad yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
if you say so.
The
stuff.
the Virgin smooth-brained something or other.
I am definitely Chad cringe galaxy brain.
Oh, we should put.
Actually, no. I'm Chad Virgin neutral.
We should put all of the different iterations of that chart on the neurotyping chart.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
All right, so
Where
the,
each
the
one-
neurotyping
yeah,
chart
falls.
is a thing Digi concocted, which in a brief summary depicts on a scale or a chart your way of thinking in terms of how you communicate ideas to other people and how you think those ideas. So on the left and right, there is Lexical on the left and Impressionist on the right. Lexical is people who think heavily with words and can't understand things that are like vague and sort of airy-fairy, weird, like jazz or whatever. They need things to be regimented and codified in a language that has rules that they can follow. So they are very particular about words. And the other side of the spectrum of that is people who understand the gist of things far easier without needing words to be involved. And they can use words interchangeably without feeling that there's any problem with that, which is why there's so much, miscommunication between different types of people. Depending on where you are on the chart, I'm very impressionistic, which is why I struggle with words constantly. And I'm like stupid.
Impressionism sucks. This post was made by Lexical Gang.
Fucking Lexis. I've thought of disparaging terms, right? The Lexis.
Yeah.
Those
good.
the thing, and then the other side is the imps. Fucking imp.
Yeah.
Fucking imp
Oh,
doesn't
yeah, it's
know
good.
how to fucking
Imps.
string a sentence together. Stuttering.
What
constantly.
about Preshies?
Freshies?
Lexis and
what's the derivative
Preshies? I don't know.
Oh, like impress. Okay.
Yeah,
I get
maybe.
it.
Just,
Yeah, that works
just
too.
tossing
It could be
around
multiples.
ideas. There's no such
Yeah.
thing as a bad idea. There's no such thing as a bad question. Only a
Sounds like
bad
impressionistic
answer.
thinking, and I hate that.
Anyway, it's really funny as a meme, but I also really like it. And on the other side of the graph, going up and down.
People were calling me an externalist on Twitter the other day,
Yeah.
and I didn't know what they
Yeah,
meant.
that's where he placed you, I think.
The graph is split up into like squares that have names. I don't really. I'm not so far like that I understand all of these different titles within the chart, but I do I generally agree with the fact that there's a sliding scale. Left to right, lexical, and impressionist. That's the way you think.
If you haven't seen it, Ben, this is Digi's thing. This is where he put all of us.
I found
PCP
his tweet
boys.
with the placement image.
Yeah.
And then top to bottom, at the top is...
You're a centrist, Ben. You're a fucking centrist.
At the top-
and it makes me want to die.
I guess so.
At the top is lateral thinking, and at the bottom is linear thinking. I'm not quite as sure about what this means. But
I've been struggling with this one too, but I know that lateral means you have multiple lines of thought at any
Lateral
one
is like
time.
thinking outside the box.
yeah.
Yes, and linear is being like on one point, focused on like
Yeah.
one idea at a time. Is my understanding.
The way I've been thinking about it is that if you're very linear, you can focus on a task a lot more easily than someone who's laterally minded, because
Maybe it's like one really thick band as opposed to many thinner bands or something of thought. I don't
so like
know.
a linear person will focus on one task but will find it hard to multitask, and a person who is lateral can. It's not always a rule that they can literally multitask, but they can have multiple different thoughts going through their head, which may like interrupt each other and get in the way of each other. I know from you may have heard multiple times where I start a sentence and then I think of a better way to say the sentence before I finish the first sentence, and then I start the next one, leading to confusion and like me sounding like I don't know what I'm saying.
Sure.
So like,
I do that too.
all of this sort of like this stuff has been, it's been cool, and I can't think of the words, but which is the frustrating thing. Knowing that I can't think of the words is helpful for me just to think like for a ground, like a foothold from which I can start to like actually analyze how to do things in life. But still, I don't have the words for it, and I need some lexical people to explain this chart in more words so that I can understand it better and make videos about them and say the words instead of writing them, because I can't read. I don't like reading.
You know what I think was did I mention this last time, that like you and me doing the podcast together, it was funny at the beginning how we totally approached it from like totally opposite sides of like appreciating the same thing that we both loved
Yeah.
in One Piece.
It is like it's funny how things fit on the chart so easily because it's such a broad idea and diametrically opposed things. Of course, there's going to be the most extreme and the least extreme of that. So it's like it's a good chart. I like it.
Maybe this is my lexi bias or whatever, but inherently I'm skeptical of all sorts of charts like this and personality typing things because I feel that they are designed, at least partially, as a tool for people to jack off about how special they are when they could be sitting down and doing spreadsheets instead. And
I like spreadsheets.
A two-dimensional chart can only tell you so much.
Yeah,
Digi, of course, we can see that. He said so himself.
Yeah,
so,
it's funny how it seems to be across the board. Lexis always think that the chart is cute, but whatever. And then Impressionist people are like, this is so important to me. I need this chart. I love this chart. I don't think it's so much that we want to feel special. I think it's just that it is a way of understanding thinking patterns that goes a lot further than any other like book we've ever been told to read or like any other explanation we've heard before. This is more of like a way to think that is see
I don't know, sure, as like a tool of education into how one thinks, I find this perfectly reasonable, but it does strike me typically because I think that probably men in general would be more left or more lexical and women would be more impressionist or whatever. It does strike me as girl shit like
it's definitely like INJTP. It is girl shit, but that's fine.
And I hate girl shit.
Girl shit is okay sometimes, said Ben. Coming out as trans,
coming out as girl leaning.
Sometimes girl shit is okay too, he said.
And you know what?
Gunned down in a hail of bullets.
Michelle did this. See, this is the thing. Michelle did this, and I had to savagely beat her with my belt for it. She looked at the chart, and so originally Externalist was called Room Brightener, which was a very positive term.
Room Brightener?
It was called Room Brightener originally. Digi intentionally toned down the positivity of several of these categories because they sounded too cool.
Toned down the negativity of some others.
That's certainly true.
Like
that's true.
To make the words as neutral as possible.
The Mother's Basement one was intentionally designed to sound shitty. Because
what he was doing,
like the action.
The first video he made was it was the one where it's like how think with the anime girl thinking, how anime characters think, and he placed a bunch of anime characters in these categories, and at the time, Room Brighteners worked with all the anime characters that he was putting there. But
I see.
It's a little more like broader than specifically brightening a room. Like it's a bad description of that. So like certain words were changed. It's all like in the process of being created. It's very like communal. People are coming up with ways to interpret it and different tweaks you can make to make the chart more accurate to real human thinking patterns.
All our commenters would surely agree that I brighten every space that I enter.
I darken every doorstep I tread across personally. But it's interesting to note, me and Michelle have long said that there are some interesting similarities in personality between you and Michelle. And we've kind of just been, specifically it comes into like my more, I don't know, like, I guess lexical is one way to put it, like thought about things, where Michelle is like more lackadaisical and going with the flow and stuff. And I don't know, for whatever reason, it's come into discussion that like, Ben's kind of more like you, Michelle. Maybe I want to fuck Ben. Maybe that's the general idea.
Curious. Let's discuss this at a later date.
Anyway,
and but of note, Michelle looked at the chart, didn't understand at first like how it worked, and said, "I'm a room brightener." And I was like, Michelle, no, the worst thing you can do is look at the chart and pick the one you want to be. But then we went through and we're like, oh, you probably do fit in that category anyway. So it wasn't
why is it now called externalist?
I think straight up because room brightener sounds really, really positive.
Yeah.
Does.
But why is it called externalist? What does that mean?
I assume it's trying to communicate the same idea that these people they express.
Because if I'm
thoughts
supposedly
outwardly.
one, I want to know what that set is.
There are.
I
purports
gotta
to
watch
say.
Digi's video. I don't fucking know.
There's
Okay.
a Reddit board about the Digi neurotyping thing, where people are discussing. I think there's a few like write-ups of all of the descriptions Digi gives, and then people's commentary on like what each of these categories names are and what they mean. So you can look that up.
Actually, the creation of that first video, which I'll link, Ben, you can just skip straight to the externalist section if you want to hear what that is, which is cool. The real bombshell here is how when I watched this video for the first time, it now had that new seek bar thing on mobile where you can fucking, like, it tells you, like, the chapter sections of the fucking episode on YouTube.
What?
It was, like, the coolest thing ever. If on
I
mobile,
have not
you go
seen
to
this
this
still.
video. You haven't, I mean, it's on my phone now.
I don't have
fucking
the
know
app,
here.
actually. I don't use the app because I can't ad block through it.
Maybe that's the
the thing
issue. Okay.
above Room Brightener is Shadow Guardian.
I think that was
Jesse is a
changed as
Shadow
well.
Guardian. What the fuck?
I think it was changed to that was changed to Overseer, which again you can see
Very
some things being
weird.
changed.
The-
here.
I mean,
the general gist, I think, of
it
the
makes
ones
sense if these are supposed to describe anime characters.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, which was the conceit originally.
Yeah.
I think.
I
I
feel
like
like
that
bottom
was the
left
example.
reasonable people,
yeah.
and then far bottom left middle managers highly derogatory.
And of course, that was Mother's Basement,
Of
who was
course.
square in the center of that one.
Uh-huh.
But that's been changed to Bookkeeper, which is still doesn't sound great.
that's neutral. That's fine.
Anyway, so
yeah.
the thing with all this, like, it's totally like understandable to question what is the point. Like, who cares where you are on the chart? Everybody is on the chart somewhere, but what does it matter whether you know or not? And I'm still trying to figure that out. I would hope that what it does is allow me to like talk or like get advice for people like me on how to think better, because I've noticed that this pattern, it really, what it's done is that it's made me realize that a lot of the ways I think and a lot of the problems in my life are caused by this way of thinking. It's like a square peg round hole situation where I haven't been trying to adapt my life to accommodate for this. I've just been trying to force my way into the way everyone else thinks and does things. And so I'm like sort of experimenting, thinking of different ways to approach lots of problems, so that I can better exist, so that I can stop being depressed quite so much, do art better, various things that just sort of like hamper my life based on the ways that I approach lots of things, based on the ways I think. And so there's just been pretty cool thinking about it, but I don't yet have the words, and I need a big stupid smart guy to say all the words for me, a stupid drooling lexical god to explain in clear terms what I should do.
Maybe what you need is, I don't know. It makes me think of like Bakuman, how like the two guys were such a great team because one guy was like the words man and the other guy was the art man.
Yeah,
and
that's what I mean.
like that.
It's like a. I know the problem, but the solution is like ridiculous. Like, oh, wouldn't it be great if like somebody just understood me? That's all I need.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
oh, well, how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna find that?
I guess the good news is you're already working in like a career path that
yeah,
is pretty.
I mean, in the
I don't
arts,
know, pretty good. Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? I was thinking, wouldn't it be? Right, this is tangentially related, but I was thinking about Google and how search engines suck, and I hate them, and they've never been good for me ever. Because, specifically, you need to know the words of the thing you're searching for before you can find it.
Ah, right.
If you don't know the words to use, I mean, this is like tangentially related because Google is a computer, and computers just work like that. You need to know the words to use properly in order to, like, keywords and all that. So, if you're looking for something like an image of a character, you already know what the character's called. That's fine, but it's not searching. It's just like recalling. You're just gaining like access to something you already know what it is. You type in Princess Peach, you know what she looks like. You get loads of images of Princess Peach. You have reaffirmed what Princess Peach looks like. You know it's not learning anything. You're not getting anything new.
But of course, the problem, And I totally understand this problem. It's like, but what if what you remember is, I remember there's like a blonde princess, or there's a blonde girl with a pink dress, and there's like a blue, like you have a visualization, but you can't just communicate that to a computer. You could type pink dress girl, blonde hair.
You can try really hard to like get as many vague similar keywords, but this is like a metaphor for this lexical impressionist thing, is that I think so much in terms of like feelings and emotions and colors and shapes and like baby gay girl shit, that when I go to try and explain myself, I don't have the necessary words at my disposal to make people understand anything I'm saying. And it's sort of like it's a brick wall I keep hitting. Like if in the future, if I could go, hey computer, so there's this like this thing like and it's like this, and the computer's like, oh yes, I understand exactly what you're looking for. Here is what it is called. It is called this is the definition, and it's like, oh god, imagine a Star Trek world where I can go to a computer and the computer can understand me better than a fucking human being can. They can scan into my like fucking neurons and find it, like, here's all the neurons, here's where they're going. Funny? This is what this guy is thinking of in a picture, and I'm going to scan the entire internet to find out what it is and tell him. I would love that. That's all I want. That's funny all I want. That one tiny thing.
Technology like that, of course, does exist in Star Trek, but like the main I'm watching Voyager now, and the main communication things, they'll say like, computer, access like all Starfleet records on, you know, Alpha Prime planet or whatever. Give me like the historical context of like Vigundo Braxis the 14th, like the warlord, and then like, they'll be like, this man was a blah 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 and he did XYZ. It's all totally lexical still, in like the way that the Federation operates with their computers. But then there's like the weird episodes where like, whoa, this alien race is like brain scanning technology. Like we've tried that, but it's a little risky. It's a little dangerous. So I don't know. I guess there's probably like a lexical bias in the Starfleet way of doing things, which is interesting.
I mean,
maybe that's why the show attracts me so much, because it's like a big talky word show or something.
Yeah, I do like talky words. I think that there was a thing Digi said at one point in like a stream where he was talking about this neurotyping thing, about like, the idea of the flow of communication. Like certain types of people can explain things to other types in like a sort of swirly pattern around the chart. And so certain types of people are like really good at communicating ideas, like translating ideas from one area to another. And I really want to see what his like flowchart looks like, because then if it's accurate, it would be handy to like figure out what sort of people would maybe be able to figure out how to talk to me about things, or how I can explain things to other people, and who they would be. And I don't know, I'm just really interested in all of this, because up until this point, like I was saying, it's all just been me hitting my head against a brick wall thinking that I am just a retard that can't function in society. And it may still be the case, but at least I have a label now, and that's all I need, is a label, and now I'm cool. Now I have an identity, and I could cling to it with my claws.
I had an interesting experience the other day. It was just a small microcosm of this. I was just watching the anime Dragon Maid. Is an awesome show, and the opening is Aozora Rhapsody. It's Blue Sky Rhapsody or whatever, and it's by this group called Fauna, or maybe that's the girl leader name, I don't know. And I was just like looking over their catalog at some of their shit, and I just like was looking at some of their song names, and it's all in like Japanese and fucking kanji and shit that I don't actually understand or read. But like as I was looking over them, I saw a bunch of kanji, and I was like, oh, you know, I can't remember how to pronounce any of these kanji, but I know that is the kanji that represents like the concept of like girl or woman. And so I was looking at these like characters, not actually knowing how to pronounce them or say them, but I got like it was a weird sensation in my brain of like, I got the feeling of what these words were attempting to convey, but not the actual like spoken definitions of them. And I don't know, it was like a very impressionistic experience. I saw like, there was like woman and like kanji for like mother, I think, and I don't know, girl and like school or something. And some of them I recognized outwardly, others I didn't, but I knew like the meaning behind them. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know, that's like an interest. With letters in general, in English, every letter just has a sound, and it's only in combination they take on any meaning. But with a language like that, specific kanji actually means specific concepts sometimes. So I don't know. I guess it's just like a facet of the language that is slightly more impressionistic. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, and I enjoyed it.
I thought that was interesting.
Indeed.
Yeah, I thought lots of things were interesting. That is kind of an interesting thing, though. It's like no one person is entirely one thing or the other. Everybody can,
of course.
Be lexical. I mean, I'm speaking words. That means I can, parse words and language and get them out. I can translate somewhat. Nobody is completely off the edges so that they can't do any of the other things. It's all, I think, like an ease of use. How easy is it for you to think in this particular way? That's where you are on the chart. When it comes to like getting the gist, I'm very good at that. When it comes to explaining what the gist is, it takes months, which is why it's so difficult for me to make like analysis videos, because I do understand all of this stuff, but it's so hard to get it out. It's so hard to get it out. Like all I would want to do is like to open my mouth and like the video game would play in entirety out of my mouth. That's all. That would be the perfect translation for me. You just play the video game. I don't need to talk about it. You should just play it and you'll get it. But you can't do that. You need to translate it so that people will understand. Because not everybody thinks like me, and that's just the way a lot of things are.
It makes me think our anime-loving audience on this anime-exclusive discussion podcast would perhaps appreciate this example. In Hunter x Hunter, there are 6 different nen usage types that you can use. And if you are on one side of the hexagonal chart or whatever, the opposite side, you like lose efficiency at when you're attempting to perform that type of nen stuff or whatever. So I think if you're like an emitter, which means you like send nen out of your body, you can do that at 100%. But like, I don't know, whatever the opposite is of that, manipulation, someone's going to tell me which is wrong or whatever. That's like the opposite type of nen, so you're less good at it. So it takes more effort for you to do, someone who would naturally be born that way, or something like that.
Like a yellow Slimoid trying to attack a magenta Slimoid,
Exactly.
It's just not going to work
beat
out.
it. It's gonna take more energy and be
You better hope you put some stats into grit.
Let's hope so. Well, actually, as a small segue from that, I was thinking how if you are probably a more lexical kind of guy, you'd probably have an easier time with like the PCP lecture format that we have done and people have enjoyed.
Yes, true. It's right there in the name.
Indeed it is. But then again, I mean, guys like Munchie are way impressionistic. But then his style is very different when he does it. And like,
hey, wait, Munchie's not on the chart.
No, oh yeah, he is. He's on the top right. He's he's the fucking Kirby. He's Kirby there under DeVoe.
Oh,
that's Munchie.
I missed it. Well, okay.
Well, thank God. It's just the Kirby, like one of the.
That's just Kirby. And I was gonna say, as a segue from that, I noticed I didn't really hear much about this, but I saw yesterday's streaming apparently on corrupting your kids. I think this was like a May initiative or something. Ash Vampire doing an online digital Bionicle seminar, clearly in the style of like the PCP lecture series. I have not watched it.
A notification for that.
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet, but I noticed it's. Scanning through, it looks like the lecture goes for about 4 hours, and I think there's like an hour and a half of questions at the end.
There is another, there was an older video from like a con, like at some convention, someone held a panel where they basically gave a Bionicle lore lecture.
Really? Was it PCP inspired at all?
No, it's older than that.
Okay, I see.
Hold on. Bionicle,
that's cool.
I can find it. A Bionicle panel? Ah, shit. Videos. New York Comic Con 2012 Bionicle panel?
I always liked the original Bionicle masks, and then as soon as they made the second generation, they were stupid. They were sort of bludgeoned to death.
Yeah, I mean, I want to check this out.
And swervy and too much bells and whistles, and it's like it was perfect before. Just stop right now.
I was never that into Bionicle, but I can't help notice that in the comments, people are referring to fans of Bionicle as bonkleheads, and I love that. I want to be a bonklehead myself.
Bonkles.
Incredible. I hope it's good. I haven't checked it out, but it seems people have long said that someone should do a Bionicle lecture because the lore is insane, but none of us know.
There already is one. I mean, the one that
you're right.
If this is the one that I'm thinking of, it's not that long. It's only like 40 minutes. So I'm sure there could be more. But it is a good idea for a topic.
I'll have to watch. Isn't there
one.
There's like a super edgy one guy in there who's like half demon, half angel Bionicle, and he's the chosen one. I don't know. I know there's one guy that people always bring up as like the Bionicle guy that makes the shit lit.
Fuck, it's just Pokemon. Like all of the generations suck except the first one.
I wonder if he would agree. Well, Ash, congratulations, and Pantsu for hosting or whatever. But about the format itself, a couple of people were saying, like, hey, you guys should do, like, online seminars, or you don't have to... There might have been a voicemail about this. You don't have to, like, wait for a RadCon.
Foxy Socks Ketsu, I think,
was
asking about... Don't you remember? Don't you remember our voicemails from last week when he said that he had a couple in mind and he was considering whether to do them online?
Oh, that's
whatever.
right. I might have added another one this week that was about a similar kind of thing. No matter. But and you know, I not to say anything negative, but I just think that obviously online you have questions there, you got people right there, but having a real live audience is
I'm
a
sure
pretty great
you could
thing.
do it and it would work.
Yeah.
It would be different.
I'll have to check this out. I will have to watch at least a bit of this and see how it goes and see if there's engagement.
I mean, I don't see any reason why you couldn't just like talk about a thing in a Skype call or whatever. Just talk about it into a webcam.
Yeah,
maybe,
I mean, that's certainly
people
true.
ask questions as it goes. I'm sure it would work. It might even be just as good. I don't know.
I wonder how much. I mean, this isn't really a credit to us or anything necessarily, but like, I wonder how much the Victor factor is like like all the zooms and the pans to interesting things going on.
Sure. Oh yeah,
sometimes
in terms of like product, but I wonder how many people watch the entire thing.
That's a great question.
Victor
I would love
would
to know.
Probably
help.
relatively few.
Like the Victor factor probably helps in making it interesting to watch because it's high def and it's not a static shot. So people may end up watching the entire thing because you're sitting down. People are also sitting down. You feel like you're sitting down with the people.
I kind of even feel that like the fact that like there's people together in one place and there's a cameraman gives a level of what appears to be like professionalism or like legitness that like makes people feel like, oh, I want to be engaged with this. This is like a thing. People cared. I think that like videos that involve more than one person always seem to like get a layer of like legitimacy or I don't know, cred, because like, oh, you got people
if you
involved
give
with
the
this.
impression that you're just like a guy talking into a microphone and that's like all there is to it, then it's like, you might come off as unprofessional or as like just some guy who gives a shit what this guy thinks. RadCon though, when there's organization and a budget behind it, you're like, these guys are important. If I don't know what these guys are talking about, then I'll be out of the conversation.
But all that being said, though, I hate to even put any kind of negative veneer. This is really cool that Ash did this with the squad here. So I want to check it out and grats, bruh.
Yeah, sure.
Hope it went well.
good.
I don't know. I have not watched it, but I thought
I
it was
think-
interesting.
I'm wondering like how good the image of the whiteboard would be. Like, could people see it?
Ooh, there is a link in the description to the whiteboard. I'm going to.
Oh,
it's
like,
on screen.
Took a picture or something.
Yeah, here I'm.
That's smart,
I'll see if I can post it. Wait a minute. The URL does. Wait, did it not work? I think it's broken, guys. Shout out to the Bionicle lecture, guys. I think your URL is broken, and it is not taking me where I need to go. So maybe check that out. Give that a double check. They made the amateur. Oh man, I did this myself when I was doing like URL shorteners. They made the amateur mistake of they put a like the short URL dot blah 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 blah, but they didn't put the HTTPS, which means I as a viewer now have to type in pieces into the URL.
Stupid.
And I'm just telling you, you're gonna lose a lot of people in that
Lose
process.
a lot of subscriber. Yeah.
It's going down the tubes. So consider editing that, and also it's just broken. So let me know.
Yeah, more to the point.
That might be more
it simply
important.
doesn't work.
On the board, I can see from here though it says, "Oh my God," and even more fascinatingly on the bottom it says, "How could we have known?" I wonder what that is about.
Tantalizing.
He's setting up the intrigue right away.
It is.
Good job.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Does anyone remember? I guess did either of you play Bionicle or with Bionicle at all?
Nope.
Not
We
at
might have had
all.
like a couple of the toys.
All right.
when
Well,
we
for
were
any
young or
of
something.
the viewers, do you remember getting like in a cereal box like the GameCube-sized CD that had like the fucking small video game about some of the Bionicle characters? That's an ancient relic. I wish I still had that.
That's sick. I would love to do that today.
It had
I'm
like
gonna
a
open up my
had like
Yeah,
a
go on, go on.
AMV like of like I think I had the green guy the Rui or something.
We need something for the modern age. I'll tell you, okay, Jeff Bezos, listen up. This one's for free. In every Amazon package, I want a % chance of getting a disc or a fucking a micro USB that contains a Bionicle video game or, I don't know, a fucking Fortnite, whatever the kids are into these days.
Remember
Get me
Chex
into
Quest?
Who could forget Chex Quest?
I don't,
fucking
but I
love
saw the
Chex Quest.
AVGN episode on it.
I had that shit. I
great.
loved that shit.
What was AVGN's, what was the verdict? Was it based or
it was
cringe?
like, well, yeah, it was like, who would have thought
Definitely
that a
based.
serial game would be great? Whoa.
Yeah.
It's just Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
It's
that's
but
just
with
Doom.
checks.
Just Doom with checks. You can use Brutal Doom with the checks things, and you can
There's
make
a
them
Brutal
explode.
Doom mod?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
checks
awesome.
Checksman mod for like Doom 2016 or whatever.
Okay, wait, it can't be 26. Oh, okay, well, I assume it mods in Checksman, like into the game or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just make a
okay.
whole new pack. Turn all the monsters into new high resolution, high poly renderings of the
that's
slime
cool.
creatures.
Did they,
Whatever the-
now, at
Whatever
the
those guys
time,
are.
that's it, like id Software had like
Anti-serial.
just invented first-person shooters, basically. Did they like work with id? Like, who actually made that game?
I think
I think
no.
it was-
I think the game's like the code was just out there and people were modding it.
they
Like, it
have
was-
always been open source, as far as I
Yeah.
know. So
That's probably what it
fascinating.
was.
Fascinating.
It probably just literally is a friggin' Doom mod.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
probably true.
I think it definitely is that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Awesome.
I
It
love
was like,
do a
hey, what if
PCP
we
race
made it
and
as a
checks, man?
promotional tool for our friggin'
Guys,
corn
we've been-
cereal?
We've been talking about a couple things. PCB race, checks man.
You know what? You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want that.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Checks
I'm
and
sure we can
balances
make that happen.
You know, we were talking about another game. I won't
We
say
were,
it, but
this one's better. This
that's
one's a
just better in
idea.
every way. No, I would actually. I would.
Oh, it sounds
listen,
kind of dope now that I think about it.
Yeah, it sounds super dope. I gotta tell you, I've been very unproductive. I've
Yeah.
been having a very hard time getting anything done.
dude say
Oh, he's
I
got
would
that
be-
Corona, ladies and gentlemen.
I
He's got-
definitely would jump on some stupid thing to waste my time on. For instance, practicing a checks man race, checks quest.
checks
Quest?
Yeah, Checks Quest.
I do it. I'll do it. I'll do anything.
It sounds fun.
Just
There's-
free me
I
from this life.
I've been feeling really like lackadaisical as well. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It sucks. That's why I've been thinking so much about like how to change my brain so I do things.
It's so shit. Like I know that like being unproductive makes me depressed,
Yep.
and being
Yeah.
depressed makes me want to not do anything. It's a vicious cycle
Yeah.
that
It's-
I'm
it's-
caught in, and I know it. But
It's a vicious black hole.
yeah,
I've been in the vicious cycle of lack of exercise last while. I did an exercise yesterday. I feel great. Of course, whenever you accomplish something or do something,
I keep thinking I
great.
should start exercising again for its mood boosting properties.
if nothing else, that's like one of the great things about it. I've been doing yoga in the morning, feel great. Exercise at night. Well, I did it like once. Got to get the pattern going. Yeah.
No, once
but
is enough.
It takes energy. It just takes energy. So I'm predisposed to just not want to, and it's boring and sucks. But I shall endeavor. I shall endeavor to improve and grow and change.
Fortunately, I have
Yeah.
infinite energy for tending roses in Animal Crossing.
Relatable.
I now have like 8 black ones now.
Nice.
And 2 purples. Ugh. And I keep getting these fucking pinks, and I hate them. I don't want them.
Fucking
Keep them
rowdies.
anyway.
Plant them around
Yeah.
your gay neighbors to.
The rowdy roses just keep sprouting up when I
All
don't
right.
want them. Just keep
like a
coming in,
rowdy.
invading my space.
No matter how many times
Thrashing
you
on
claim
the-
all
on-
districts, they just pop back up.
Damn it.
We have to. We have to answer the rowdy question. We have to find the final solution and destroy their funhouse once and for all.
The whole game, all of Endless War is about trying to solve the RQ, but we haven't done it yet.
One day.
The BQ, the Buster question.
Whoa there, Ben.
Solve the BQ.
Oh, you know, I've been getting.
It's really funny, like using like the bad word in like a term that is supposed to be like softening the blow. Like who?
It's great.
I've
been getting a series of questions on like, whoa, from the One Piece lecture, like, whoa, because the Buster call, like, whoa, what's with the hard R? Like, what was that about? Am I missing something here?
Yeah, I saw that.
Lol. I've seen a bunch of.
We got. I mean, obviously, we got that on the Buster cast as well.
Of course,
guys. It's an old word.
Please.
It's been around.
Yeah, you should understand.
Why is the Buster call called the Buster call? I feel like
because it busts all the people.
I feel like gunbuster, DieBuster, and the Buster call. I don't know. Does that word have like some connotation in Japanese?
It's probably
just sounds
like
cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things like it's a hey Buster. You and they hear it in an American TV show or movie and they're like, haha, yes.
But like we don't call things that. Like nobody's ever. I don't know. It just seems like a name, like an English name that an American thing would never be called. So I have to wonder, like,
well, that's definitely true.
Why does it pop up here and there?
I think that
unexpected places
in other languages, particularly Japanese, which we hear a lot of, is people who watch anime and play video games and shit. I think they just like don't have. I don't know, the same kind of like thought process we have when we hear like a word in English, and they really do just lean on what kind of just sounds the coolest. And, you know, I mean, the Buster call in One Piece, it is in fact a phone call that is made to five vice admirals, and they come in and they bust the place up with cannons and stuff. So, okay, understandable. I think there is a reason why. I don't know about Gunbuster. I think that one was just called that because it was cool. I think DieBuster has a meaning, but I forget what it is. I think I looked it up one time.
It's when you get shot with a gun, you die. That's
right,
why.
yeah.
Isn't a Daibutsu the like Buddha statue?
Yes, it is.
Like Dai means great.
Oh my god, that's obviously what it is. Why am I a fucking idiot? Yes, that's okay. I don't know that for sure, but Dai does mean big. So it's just it's really big.
I think it's just a sort of anglicization of them calling it the DieBuster, as in the Great Buster or whatever, like a bigger version.
I will give a slight.
This is my suspicion.
Sure. While Gunbuster, being called Gunbuster, is wholly appropriate and totally makes sense and is thematically, obviously the right way to go.
I don't know about that. Like, it still seems random. It still seems like they just picked a word.
Oh well, I agree on that front.
It's not like the show is about guns.
Well, they have guns in it.
I mean, it's about a robot that is the most important robot ever that happens to be called Gunbuster. So it makes sense to them.
But why is it called Gunbuster? Why that name? It doesn't bust guns.
I don't know. It has a gun and it busts. It's not a critique of itself. It's both things.
When I think about the Gunbuster, the titular Gunbuster.
Yeah.
What I imagine it doing, I would not describe as busting per se. I don't know.
It does make you feel good though.
True. All I'm saying is I would be interested to perhaps see like a breakdown maybe, or maybe a list of like usage of that word in anime and see if there's like some sort of like genesis point where like it started
just
and
comes
like
from Ghostbusters.
That maybe
it just comes from fucking Ghostbusters.
Maybe, but I bet you could at least get Amino to comment on where assuming he's the one who came up with the name. I bet there's some information about that somewhere.
Him.
Yeah, please do. But I was gonna say, I have always thought that while
Ghostbuster was 1984, Gunbuster was 1988.
88. Okay, that's plenty of time. That's plenty of time for.
Thinking about it. That is the obvious answer, isn't it? Like the phrase, the word "buster," surely, like Ghostbusters must be the thing.
Oh, and of course,
that introduced
we shouldn't forget
the
actual Japanese name of the show is "Aim for the Top," Gunbuster, or is it just "Aim for the Top"? I can't remember.
Maybe it means aim for the top gun, Buster.
Either way, in Japanese, the robot is still called the Gunbuster.
Yeah, certainly true. I was going to say, though, I've always thought The second show is called DieBuster. I don't even know if they say the word DieBuster in the show. I think they do.
They definitely don't.
They don't. Okay, and you just watched it. They don't even say it.
Well, I don't think so. We
can infer. Okay, know what they're talking about.
There's no robot called the DieBuster.
I think the DieBuster is the really big Noriko mech that shows up in the last episode to do that stuff. I'm pretty sure that's the DieBuster.
You know what? I think you're right and I'm wrong. And that is like the great version, the Die version of the Gunbuster is this ultimate, conglomerate.
And that's
creation.
Fine. And that's fine. I'm just going to say, I always wanted to say about that in Gunbuster is central to like everything that happens, so that's cool. DieBuster, sure. In the final battle, it's relevant. It should have been called like, I don't know, No Gunbuster, because it's all about No. No is so much more important than the DieBuster itself, and it always seemed stupid and dumb.
I mean,
but
I think
whatever.
They probably used the name for name recognition.
I'm sure.
You're right.
It's aimed for the top two, aka DieBuster, which is the bigger one.
I think you could make a case that the Gunbuster is not really that central to the story of Gun. I mean, it's there.
Well, hey, every story is just about man in conflict with himself. No, so
sure,
fair point. Yeah.
It's true that the DieBuster only appears in like one episode.
And was gay, doesn't even look cool, who gives a shit? The other mechs are so much cooler in DieBuster.
But the Gunbuster, there's not really anything special about the gun. Like, all it is just a bigger robot, basically, that just is better at fighting the aliens that the other robots were less good at fighting.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Buster Cast, everybody. And also, I think it is actually made up of many little Buster machines, as I recall, which I think all those little guys.
The DieBuster?
Yeah.
The DieBuster it's made up of the like planetary defense robots,
which I think are Buster machines. Because that is a specific thing in.
I believe
or maybe collectively they are one Buster machine together.
Yes, they are all part of Gunbuster number 7, which is No. No is Buster number 7, and all of those planetary defense like droids are like a part of her.
Oh, you're making me. I mean, I do wish I had kind of spent the time to watch the show, if for no other reason, not to be on the Bustercast, just to re-experience one of the greatest anime ever made, DieBuster. I mean, also Gunbuster's great.
Hey guys,
they are unbelievably good.
Hey, audience, if you want to hear more about DieBuster Gunbuster, go listen to the Bustercast. It's me and Tom. We get a lot of things wrong. You can get mad. Like I said in it that I thought that it was Anno's first directorial role, which is wrong.
Fair enough.
Oh, well.
Oh my God! Remember, I think it's episode 3 of DieBuster, where like the mean girl with the blue hair has her little arc, and she gets the Buster, and No selfishly gives up her Buster machine so that girl can pilot one instead, and she fucking does that amazing like negative 170 trillion like ice beam blast or whatever.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense.
Makes
but it's so
makes
fucking
it snow
awesome.
on
and the
Jupiter
music
or whatever.
that plays. Oh, and the fucking ending theme song that plays as that shit goes down. Oh, God, it's so good. It's the best show ever made.
Groovin' Magic.
Groovin' Magic is the greatest opening of all time, except for
it is.
Gurren Lagann's. But
gets me hype every friggin' time.
You know what's funny? When I first met Michelle, and we were talking about anime and stuff, and I was just like, hey, you know this one? Groovin' Magic. And Michelle's like, I know this one. And I was like, whoa, you've seen DieBuster? She's like, no. I was like, what? She had like heard it on like Japanese radio or like Hawaiian radio or some stupid normie shit.
Well,
that if you live in Hawaii, I guess you hear more
I'm
of.
a little surprised, but I'm
Round
glad.
Table's a popular group, I guess.
It's a good song, and it does. So, was it not made for the show?
I believe that it was, but I assume it also made the rounds elsewhere, I guess.
I mean, why wouldn't you make it a
don't
single
know.
if it's a good song?
Yeah, and it was a good song. God, that song's so
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
All right. Well, there you go.
Anything else to say about Gunbuster?
I love it. It's good. And obviously the ending of Gunbuster is kind of like the most amazing thing that's ever happened in the history of anime. But overall, I'm saying it again, I like DieBuster more.
We talked about it. I like the ending of DieBuster better because of how it relates to the because
that's certainly understable. It is
when
amazing
when you realize
the
connection, you go, whoa! It's just it's that other thing.
I couldn't agree more. Oh, but that ending of Gunbuster is so legendary because
it is. It is.
God,
it is.
Damn.
I mean,
that's some good
DieBuster
shit.
would be nothing without Well, it wouldn't be nothing.
At the end of DieBuster, after all the sacrifice, I forget, like Lark is going to be there to continue the legacy and to do the thing that Nono always wanted to do, but she didn't get the chance. She didn't get the chance.
Hey,
Lark's
spoilers.
going to help her live her legacy.
Hey,
Oh,
spoilers,
God.
Buster.
It's too good.
Hey, cool it.
I'm sorry. Oh, are you excited for aim for the top 3? Big Buster?
Real?
I can't wait for
Dave
Big
and
Buster. Please call it Big Buster. Then I
Ryan
won't
Buster.
complain.
The last thing I want to say about DieBuster is it is weird how much it is just Fooly Cooly sometimes.
Yes, it is.
Like sometimes it
very
just looks
similar.
exactly like Fooly Cooly. Like they just
Same
like it's almost like
director,
they
same
traced it. It's almost like sometimes they just traced scenes from Fooly Cooly and put new characters in them.
I believe it was made, I want to say 2 years after Fooly Cooly, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it was like 2000 and 2002 or 3.
It looks and feels very similar a lot of the time, which for me
It's great.
is
right?
great.
It's awesome.
And I love that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
so
great.
good. It's so good.
It's probably a better sequel to Fooly Cooly than the Fooly Cooly sequels are.
Have you watched either of those?
Which I have not seen them, no.
Then I'm sure that that is true. I
Yeah.
have no doubt. Everybody hates them. Unless you're
Yeah.
an idiot.
I don't want.
I haven't
really
watched
want to
them.
see 'em.
I have not seen them, but
I'm not interested.
Oh, but by the way, that wasn't a joke. Aim for the top 3 was announced to be worked on a while ago. I don't know if you were aware of that.
No.
Yeah, but it is absolutely in developer hell. It was announced like several years ago, and there has been exactly 0 updates since that time. So I hope they literally just let it go and they just don't do it. Let it fade.
Maybe. I
Let
don't
it
know.
die. Let it die.
Hard to imagine them improving on what they've already got.
You know what they'd fucking
that
do?
series.
They'd fucking bring in the like your name guy or whatever
Yeah.
that, and they'd have that
Masaki
guy
Yuasa?
do his vision.
No. Is that
Yeah,
Yuasa?
Yeah, that's Masaki Yuasa, I believe. I think.
I don't know.
Oh,
I've never
he's so
seen any of
good.
his shit.
Everything he does is great, guys. That's like letting Nomura direct Final Fantasy VII again. Wasn't that a great idea? I mean, he was part of the original team. What could go wrong?
Isn't Masaki Yuasa really good? Are you thinking of someone else?
Wait, I'm thinking of the wrong person. Wait.
Masaki
Yuasa
Yuasa
did
is the
Devil May
ping
Cry
pong
Baby,
guy.
right?
And
Yes.
yeah, he did that.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
fuck.
Well, you guys
Okay,
know.
yeah.
He's like the most popular anime man right now. Whatever the fuck his name is. Your Name,
Yeah.
Garden
Yeah.
of Words, I think.
Garfield is his name.
Garfield, yeah.
Jim Davis, right.
Yeah.
Love him.
Jimu Davis.
Hey, I'm sorry. Did I tell you guys? I might have already said this. Did I tell you my discovery that in reading the most recent One Piece SBS, it turns out that Neko Mamushi, the big cat, his favorite food is lasagna.
No.
It's canon. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Amazing.
It's obviously
Oda.
a Garfield reference, and like the dog Inuarashi loves bones, which isn't Odie specific, but based on his ear shape and his general coloring, I think it's fair to say they are inspired by Garfield.
So
and
wait,
Odie.
hang on. Does that mean like who is what's his
Odin
face?
or Momonosuke or
No, the what's the guy's name in Garfield? The
John Arbuckle.
John. Who is John?
That's gotta be
Is that
Odin.
Gold
Odin
Roger?
is John.
the guys from the Animal Island, from the elephant.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So who's
I
the
mean,
John?
looking at
Who's
that
the John
cat-
to these guys? I guess Odin.
It's got to be Odin. It's got to be Odin.
Now,
Which
where
one's
could
Odin?
my sword be?
You haven't met him yet. He shows been Wano, but he's Momonosuke's dad.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
he's like
I
they get a
see this guy,
flashback with him later and stuff. Yeah.
Wait, he's like the old king or something who was like
he was
The old
Lord.
emperor,
He was
Lord
not the
of-
shogun.
he was
but...
like the old ruler who was like too nice and wanted to open his borders.
yeah,
and
yes,
so, like,
that's correct. That's
something happened. He got
Yeah.
assassinated or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. He was
you'll
killed.
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
spoiled it, but he is dead.
We already know that. Goddamn,
That's ancient ass history. That's set up for the Wano arc.
It is.
Did you know Japan exists? What?
I hate that. Hey, Ben, have you've seen Big Mom's flashback already, right?
Odin is just Bernie Sanders, and like Bernie, he gets buried because he's too good. He was too good for this world. Obliterated.
That does happen to him, basically.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Oh, all right. So you already saw Big Mom's flashback, of course, during Whole Cake Island and
Yes.
whatnot. But did you also, Ben, get the same sense of what the fuck is that? When for exactly one okay, there's a lot of things.
I think we did talk about like she ate her friends.
No.
right?
There's that, which is amazing,
Seems
but
that
not
way.
right now. Do I want to talk about that? I want to talk about how Big Mom was on Elbaf, is where her like orphanage was, and for exactly one panel, you can see that there's like an island there, and you see the little house, but directly to the right, there is some sort of gigantic mountain or cliff face or something that looks bigger than like anything we've seen in the entire series thus far. And I want to know what the fuck that thing is
Do you
on
have an
Elbaf.
image?
I don't. Yeah, you're gonna have
You
to
know
show
what?
me a
I bet I can find
screenshot
it.
or something.
Elbaf Island. Let me see.
I
bet
definitely
it's...
did read this part, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Here. Boom. From the anime.
I gotta
look
fucking
at this.
catch up. I'm only like 40 chapters behind.
Yeah,
I gotta
catch
just
up,
catch
dog.
up.
Make like a tomato. Catch
Yeah.
up. Look at
That's
this.
right.
There's like the ship pulling up. You can see the house, and just for size comparison, you can see that is a giant mountain, and then there's that thing
Oh
to
my
the right.
God.
Yeah. What is that?
Is that Yggdrasil? Is that what that would be?
Maybe it is.
The world's
maybe
tree?
that's the
Or
atom
like
tree.
Atom tree,
something?
maybe?
Oh,
would
definitely. Here's
be
the
a
So
challenge
giant-
from the
that is
manga.
Elbaf, right?
This is stated to be on Elbaf, and this is the only image we've like ever seen of it. Oh, shit, maybe that is a tree.
It does
thought it was
kind
a
of look
mountain.
like bark.
Oh yeah, in the manga, it's a bit more obvious that it's probably a tree. 'cause,
Oh my
like,
God.
There's that it sort of goes
Yeah.
outwards.
I
the
never
top.
noticed that going outward until right now. Shit, that probably is a tree. Cool.
It looks like it might be a tree. I don't know. Is there supposed to be like some kind of super tree?
I mean, I
Well,
feel like
Elbaf?
with all
Elbaf
of
is
the,
Norse, and we all know
Norse,
Norse
yeah.
mythology has Yggdrasil, the world tree and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
damn.
Sounds.
I just
sounds
learned
legit.
that at this very moment.
How big?
Godmother Caramel was incredibly hot when she was young and had like an amazing arc with Big Mom.
Wait,
awesome.
who does?
Caramel.
Mother Caramel.
Oh, caramel. Yeah. Good stuff.
She
Good,
smoked. That was sick.
good stuff. Smokes. She
Someone
fucks. That's what they
update that
say.
old image. Someone update that old image of all the smokers in One Piece, and please put Mother Caramel as her young hot self on that.
Smoking
image.
looks so cool.
It sure does,
in
Ben.
in manga and stuff.
It sure
Looks
does.
fucking base.
Spike Spiegel got me on the train back in the day.
Cool.
Base. Let me see. Was I gonna bring up
If
something
only
else?
there was a smoke that like burned for the same amount of time and looked exactly the same and was not bad for you. Like, could that not be fabricated?
Ben takes a hit of his vape. Damn, if only there were something like that.
No, that's a metal thing. I want like a piece of paper that I could light. Half of the coolness of the cigarette is the burning. You need the fire there. You need the lighter.
You can get the vapor at least when you exhale, which is something, I suppose.
It's a
you
different
get, like,
flavor.
A cool light.
It's a different feeling. It's certainly cool
Sure,
in its
it
own
is.
way, but it's not
One
quite
is far more
the same as a cigarette.
Do you want to go for like the cowboy bebop jazz aesthetic, or do you want to go for like the techno futury vape aesthetic?
I like the jazz.
You want to look like a bounty hunter from the future? You go with the vape.
Indeed.
Always.
That's true.
But the real cool guys just use a lighter on their vape.
They burn it down every time. Hey, I just wanted to say, in my ongoing struggle between the duality of man, lexical and impressionism, I've been watching Factorio speedruns. There is nothing in this world more like fucking spreadsheet or like lexically minded than a Factorio speedrun.
I'm not sure it's like lexical because like lexical is
You're
language.
right. I'm using the word very loosely.
It's
there's-
definitely
there's-
linear.
There's either the lateral or the linear. I think Factorio might be more of a lateral thing because you have to think of so many steps ahead in order
that
to be
depends.
the most efficient.
Well,
I think it's
the way that
I think it probably just boils down to math at the end of the day. There's probably just like a mathematically optimal.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ben and Gib, I invite you to enjoy this experience with me one of these days on this Factorio speedrun quest. And the thing is, this man, shout out to my boy Nephrums, the current world record holder for both any percent and 100% completion on Factorio speedruns. He's down to sub 2 hours now, baby. I want to be the summoning salt to make the fucking legacy of my boy Nephrums killing the game at Factorio.
How many views does this have? Like,
This is the world
10,000.
record. 10,000. The guy's got only less than 5K subs, but like this is what he does.
my favorite thing, and not my favorite thing, but something I really like is when I watch like a Summoning Salt video, he'll talk about like these people who are like these people that like loom large in the speedrunning community. Like this person like basically invented the way it's played. Like everybody knows this guy. This guy's like a legendary speedrunner. He'll show like a screenshot of his YouTube channel. It's like no avatar, 2.5k subs.
I do,
like 700 subs.
I kind of love it's got a real like secret what's the word? It's a certain type of aesthetic that's sort of obscure, but like you walk into a bar and like there's people that you don't know are like super genius badasses in their community, and you're just sort of like, oh, I'm stupid, I don't know, and then later you realize and you're just like, I was talking to that guy.
That's true. Every human is
a
series of mysteries and accomplishments that you can't know until you
he'll
get
show
to know
like
them.
like this video like revolutionized the Mario Sunshine speedrunning community. He shows a screenshot. It's got like 150 views.
Yes, but to the people who care, it's like such a big deal. I mean, how many people go and read those I don't know, you got like a YouTube video by someone with like 1 million subs, like a news guy, about like how, like YouTube has just changed its policy and it's going to ruin everybody. Whatever. No, I don't give a shit if that's true or not, but he makes a video like that. And then like the actual like document that YouTube published about this will have like 100 views. Like barely anybody actually read the source material, which of course is how it works. And I understand why, but it's
what's
funny.
Cool about it? It's like it gives validity to it. Like the story is real because nobody knows about this thing. Like imagine how
true.
boring and lame it would be if somebody was talking about like the most influential song of an age, and then they link to Gangnam Style. It's like, well,
yeah.
Everyone's heard of that. That's a big song. Who cares? It's not special.
I think it's a lot of I don't know. I've been thinking about when it comes to like the FF7 remake and whatnot. I've been thinking a lot about, and I think I'm definitely going to address this in some way. Like, what do people really mean by soul versus soulless and whatnot? And in short,
What the fuck are you talking about?
These are common terms. These are common terminology that's used to describe like old versus new games and how people feel about them and why they feel like something is weird and different about new game styles. And what it really comes down to, the short version, is like when, for example, in Final Fantasy VII, the original, they had these blocky models, and like everything they did, like every unique. Okay, here's a perfect idea of what soul is for specifically only the final battle of Cloud versus Sephiroth at the very end, where it's like the battle within Cloud's mind to rid himself of the final traces of Sephiroth, where it's got super sexy shirtless Sephiroth and he does Omni Slash even if you haven't learned the limit. Oh my god, like the most Kino battle of all time. For that specific battle, they made updated, new, better-looking 3D models of both Cloud and Sephiroth just for that one battle, because they knew that they wanted to, like, focus in more on them, have, like, cinematic camera angles and stuff happen there. Like, that is pure soul. The effort they put in to, like, enhance that experience, like, for the viewing public and stuff by doing extra work. Or, like, in an old, like, 8-bit game or whatever, 16-bit, adding extra sprites just for, like, one little scene that the developers want to do. All that feels like soul. As opposed to what feels soulless by comparison is, just for example, and I think most people would agree on this, in FF7 Remake, you got a lot of characters who have like little side stories, little arcs they're doing on the side, and little like side missions you got to do. But the thing is, all those characters look like generic Fallout Wastelanders who are just like, they look like Unity assets that have just been imported, and they do not feel special or unique, especially in comparison to like the main crew, which are very colorful and beautiful.
Yeah,
that distinction is really clear in stuff like that.
I think with things like that, it's like the decision to make a whole model is a big deal because of how much. I mean, Final Fantasy was already on 3 discs. There's so much space required to do those things, but like nowadays, the hardware limitations basically don't exist. You can do it fucking anything. The graphical capabilities of the PlayStation 4 are phenomenal, and games can look incredible, and there's almost no excuse for not having everything possible.
Yes, yeah.
And so, like,
we feel that. I think
it just sort of feels, and it's like an unfortunate. It's impossible for something to feel soulful because you can't get a sense of how hard they're working to make something happen.
I think it's nobody's fault, but I think that kind of is the reality. Yeah.
What I thought you were gonna say, Nate, was like, okay, so like, yeah, they made these updated like higher res models just for this one moment.
Yeah.
So you get this moment of like, whoa, we've ramped it up. But like, yeah, on like a new like a AAA game or whatever, like everything is fully rendered, everything is like fully realized and fleshed out because the budget is enormous.
Yes.
You know, they do that with everything, so there's no like moment wherein you go, oh, whoa, they ramped it up for this one.
What it's really about...
Because the fucking processors are blasting at 100% all the time.
I think when people say soul, I think what like when I think of what that term means really, it's like I'm playing this game and when I see something like I'm playing Final Fantasy VI or something, I don't know, and I see the sprite of Terra there's that one famous sprite of Terra going like blah and like kind of like spazzing out like in like embarrassment or surprise or something like that. And sure, that gets used a bunch, but like they could have done something far simpler. You know what? That's actually a bad example. But what I'm trying to convey is the emotion of feeling the developer, like, despite all the limitations that existed for them in the context they were making it, you can feel them going above and beyond. And the problem is exactly what you were saying. The context these days has changed, where it now just feels like there is an expectation that everything will look at least a certain level of quality and a certain level of amazingness and stuff. So, yeah, I mean,
do you think then, I mean, there's still like potential for that feeling if you know that the person is an indie developer and they make something.
Oh yeah,
incredible.
No doubt.
So like,
absolutely.
Do you think large budget AAA big things are impossible to feel soulful nowadays?
I would say it's going to be way
it's
harder.
Not impossible, but
yeah,
what would it take is the question.
Art from adversity, and a AAA title with a AAA budget faces less adversity. You know what I mean?
That's definitely true. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example of something. I have played... I got it. I know exactly what it is. Or this is one example.
People love, like, Dark Souls 3, and that's like a, you know...
I love that game, too.
It's a AAA game. It's so much... It looks beautiful, and it's, like, a lot of soul. Like, would that not be... Like, what's different?
I would argue that...
Have you seen that Matthew Matosis video where he talks about the lost souls?
How about Dark Souls 1? I mean, Dark Souls 1
is
is the one people generally think is the most soulful. And I guess at the time you could say that was a AAA.
It wasn't AAA.
It was on the cusp. They were like they had a success in Demon's Souls, and that was their first actually big game, Dark Souls 1.
I think a lot of it was that like expectations really were like lower. Like Dark Souls is where things really exploded, and like that game, for many reasons that maybe people have made a million video essays about, no one expected that game to have as much like depth and I don't know, cool game design stuff going on. So that's not exactly soul, but it was just like good. And like soul would be, for example, in Dark Souls, the fact that Ash Lake even exists in as hidden a place as this. You know what that shows me? That shows me those developers were willing to make an entire, huge, awesome section of the game. They're willing to make it, sculpt it, populate it with characters, unique NPCs, an entire, like, the Dragon Quest line or whatever. They were willing to say, you know what? Many players are just not going to find this. And you know what? We're okay with that. We don't need everything we've done to be thrust in the face of every player, and we're comfortable with that because we're confident that the game will be better for this being a mystery for many players, because mystery was a big important part of much of Dark Souls' early life.
It's better when there's things that not everyone finds.
Even knowing what it is before you play it for the first time, because the first time I experienced Dark Souls was watching the Digibros playthrough. And so I learned about Ash Lake through them doing it, talking about it and playing it. And even knowing that it was there, it still feels incredible to go there.
It does. It really does.
Just the fact that, you know, the knowledge that the developers put it in there and didn't tell anyone. Just because the knowledge is now out doesn't mean that is different. And so it still feels soulful in that way.
Knowledge of the context is important, and I think we're all pretty aware of that. But by the way, to be fair, a modern example of modern day soul, easy one. Like, okay, this isn't the most soulful thing ever, because as you'll see, like, you have to pay extra money for it, and like the game itself was lacking in many ways, but the Remind DLC of Kingdom Hearts 3. Much of the DLC has horrible cutscenes, the Final Fantasy characters are shitty, but the boss fights themselves are soulful as hell, most of them. Not all of them are amazing. my favorite part so far, the Marluxia data battle fight in Kingdom Hearts 3 is so fucking soulful. It's got all these references to like old Marluxia fights throughout history. It's got this new remix of the fucking Lord of the Castle theme from Chain of Memories. That fight is so good. And I just love replaying it because it not only is a challenging gameplay experience, I just feel like saturated in the classic Kingdom Hearts stuff that I love while being challenged by the game. I cannot get enough of it. It's so good. And you can contrast that with other fights that I feel in the Data, Remind one that are significantly less soulful. Faithfully recreated a lot of the time, but unfortunately recreated from games that aren't as good.
You've given examples.
Yeah.
What could you define in words what it means to have soul in a game?
Yes, it's kind of a calculation. I would argue it's like effort put in, like extra effort beyond what would be just the bare bones need to like convey the idea across, like over like technical limitations that existed at the time. So like everything's going to be like a degree of how much it is relative to like the context it was in, what technology was available, and like your savvy gamer should, or consumer of any media should be able to tell like what was there. This reminds me of someone in my stream yesterday said this was a Sam Hyde quote. I don't know from what, and I would actually love to find it if anybody knows, but it was just something like, when developers in the old days, or when like artists only had oil paints to paint with, they like weren't distracted by, I don't know, like fan expectations. Okay, maybe that wasn't quite true, but like miscellaneous stuff they had
their patrons. They had their rich Italian families.
They did have to please those people, but
had
like
to please the king or whatever.
They weren't distracted by things like, I don't know, should I put like a QTE in that would break up the flow of this segment of the game here? I don't know. Just like an example of, they had very limited tools, so it had to stand on just how good is your oil painting technique. Whereas with modern games, I would just argue that there's tons of things that you can put in as a distraction, and I don't think distractions from like the main pieces of the game are always a good idea. FF7 Original had tons of minigames, but those minigames, given the context of the time and place, felt insanely soulful. Out of nowhere, in Final Fantasy VII, you're suddenly on a motorcycle chase that was like inconceivable that would be in a game of this type at that. Of nowhere, you're doing a fucking snowboarding mission, which is like my favorite part of the fucking game, that you're just snowboarding out of nowhere. That's soul. And it's all about the context.
And then you can play him again in the gold saucer.
Yeah, you can. It's amazing. It's amazing.
All right.
Great.
Given that, then, I think something that would be a AAA soulful experience would be for a game to not have tons of miscellaneous side quests, and for it to be relatively short and sweet and good all the way through. That would be a thing that is like, bad monetary decision. You want your game to last for 50, 60, 70 hours, and you want it to have like tons of collectibles that don't mean anything, tons of side characters that don't mean anything, that don't have any like rich character. They just sort of say a few lines and they have like, please do this for me. Like a game that comes out in the modern day that doesn't have all of the bullshit things that modern games are expected to have would be a soulful moment. I would respect that in a game.
Yeah.
And if we're like really tightly focused on, telling the story.
I can imagine in my head, like if they were, FF7 suffers from this to a degree, the remake does. But like, for example, Chrono Trigger, amazing game, one of the greatest RPGs ever made. That game is packed to the gills with side quests. But all those side quests are insanely soulful. Look, I mean, some are better than others. But like the fact, like that game is basically modular. You decide at what point you want to fight Lavos. You decide how many party members you want to do it with. You could even decide if you want to fucking revive Chrono when he fucking dies. Those side quests are insanely soulful because they all tie directly into the plot, give you components that like make the game, like you get like Frog's final weapon. They tangibly improve your experience of the game. They play with the main mechanics of the game, and they do not feel like a waste of time, because the whole game is set up such that you are in control of time travel. So like doing side missions would not interrupt like anything you're doing.
I suppose it could have a few. I think it's just like there's a balance to strike where as soon as you feel like something could be copy-pasted, like a character model or, a mission seems very similar to another one, and the rewards are like, crafting materials as opposed to like interesting story progression, and things that move the main story forward.
Yep.
As long as it like, I don't know. It's hard to figure out exactly where that balance would be.
That's true. And here's another soulful moment just of history. Yes, this was they were a big studio, very successful at this point, but simply Square Enix putting in the entire opera scene from Final Fantasy VI, giving Celi's like the Maria costume, like a full new sprite sheet set, and making her like sing, like this was revolution. This had never been done before in like a sprite-based game. Insanely soulful, off the chart soul in that whole section, which is why it's regarded as like one of the most amazing moments of all time. But I mean, now, like, if you just separate context, you can look back in Final Fantasy VI and be like, the graphics aren't even that good, man. Graphics, like, okay, yes, sure, they're not even that good because it was made like 20 fucking years ago or like 25 years ago.
More than that.
Yeah, almost 30, I think, at this point. And so like, you gotta keep. A lot of people these days really seem to want to strip context out of everything. And I think that's a bad idea, especially there's a lot of people who want to defend the remake. And I understand there are perfectly valid reasons to defend the remake on all kinds of points. I would simply want them to just remember the context of the original. I think it's important. And when you got a remake, you cannot avoid being latched to the original because you call it a remake. You didn't call it Final Fantasy VII 2 or anything like that. You called it a remake. And where does a bunch of meanings? But okay, I don't want to get a whole thing about the remake. But
hey, Nate, did you see my video about Final Fantasy VII? Thoughts?
I did. Forgive me, I forget exactly what you said. You want to recap it for me real quick?
No, I forget exactly what I said as well. It doesn't matter.
I remember that there were some things that slightly disagreed with my opinion and that made me insanely angry, as all opinions that don't 100% adhere with mine do. I'm exaggerating. I think I had some slight differes, but I think your point was overall reasonable.
I think my point was like, there's always this this idea that the original, needs to be preserved because it's good, and I want it to be something that other people in the future can play. And a remake, sometimes the argument, not necessarily the argument you make, is that it can obfuscate the original by being the one that people play instead. And if it's slightly wrong, then that's unfortunate because the better experience is being lost, and not everyone's going to play the original, and it's unfortunate. And I was just thinking, like, could it even be? Is the idea that you could play Final Fantasy VII today even feasible and still enjoy it in the same way? And that was just sort of like a thought process thing.
That's a good question. I would emphatically argue the answer to that question is 100% yes. But some people might disagree. And fair
it's
enough.
really just sort of raising the point that like there are a lot more context things that go into the enjoyment of anything. Like
That's
the
true.
year it came out compared to all the other things that were coming out, how much revolutionary it is doesn't matter anymore because things have come out since, and now those moments aren't going to be as mind-blowing to people who are experiencing it. So it's like, it's going to be a different experience no matter what you do.
Well, that's true.
I would definitely say that like Final Fantasy VII is a great game to play now because I played it not too long ago for the first time, and it was good.
Yeah. I mean, if you can do that, I would argue a lot of people can too. By the way, my favorite thing about that video by far is your artwork. On the main thumbnail. Everyone should go look at it.
Why is Tifa so hot?
It's just how it is, man.
Look at her.
I
really like your drawing.
I gotta call the ethics department. Those bazoingas are offending me. They're far too large.
But I like that's what I like about them.
Yeah.
I was just sort of scribbling, doodling. I drew the cloud, and I was like, haha. Cool.
Yeah. It is great. You know what?
I like how you are erasing the only person of color in the cast by putting him in the bottom right corner where the timer will appear directly over his face.
I didn't realize that. I was like, oh shit.
Thanks,
man. I don't know about you guys.
Literally like a sensor bar over his mouth. The timer.
It's great. I feel so happy that I have acquired an infinite supply of N-word passes because I love Barrett so much. a proud black man, because I have such a deep bond with Barrett.
If he were
Love
here,
everything
he
about
would
him.
give you the N-word pass.
I know
and so,
he would. I
of
know
course
he would. Thank you,
Yeah,
Barrett.
and you guys would fist bump.
Yeah.
And he would, I don't know, he would say, "Nah, brah, it's all good."
He would. That's just what he would say.
In my mind, that's how it would go.
God, Barrett is the greatest character ever conceived in the history, man. Barrett might be the best character in Final Fantasy VII in terms of how happy he makes my PP. Oh my God, when him and Marlene are together,
dude,
it melts my
I feel
heart.
like discussion about the remake has like a lot of it's been focused on Barrett, and like I guess I forgot. I don't remember a lot of people like. I don't remember Barrett being a lot of people's favorite character, but I hear like a lot of the people saying that they like the remake say like, "Oh, Barrett's so good."
I hear that the white women have been going gaga for this guy.
Is that true?
I don't know. I did see some article or some like Twitter post about. I don't know.
Have I ever told you the first time, like when I played Final Fantasy VII for the first time for like that GRPJ?
By the way, I'm right with you, white women. I'm one of you. I'm sorry, please.
That I didn't know all of the like different things you do to get like things to happen. Like Yuffie, I didn't know how to make her appear.
Oh yeah.
Script. So I had to look.
You gotta look that shit up. You gotta go on GameFAQs.
Yeah, man.
You gotta print out 50 fucking pages on your mom's printer.
That's what we did.
Staple it together. Keep it next to your console.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I didn't want to try that just because I wanted to see what would happen, and I ended up with Barrett in the date scene.
Oh fuck yeah! You got the best arc, man. That's the best
You
arc.
fucked it up.
Although, to be fair,
I was thinking like, oh wait, why is Barrett here? What is going on? Like, and
you
when
must have
people
been
were
mean to Eris and Tifa the entire time, intentionally.
I guess I did. I like didn't know what was. It was funny because they go on that thing. I didn't even know there was a quote unquote date scene. And people were talking about it. I was like, what do you mean? I just went on a ride with Barrett at some point.
That's why just railroading everyone down the exact same experience is gay as hell, and fucking different stories and different shit gives you shit to talk about. It's fun. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's so
soul is what it is.
well.
It's soul. Dating Barrett is the peak soul. You think in Remake Part 2 they're gonna allow you to date anyone except Eris? I would bet $1,000 fucking dollars that they force you to date Eris and no one else.
I think they're gonna let you. I think they're gonna let you do that.
That would. I feel like that would be like an like overt sort of like downgrade from
think
the.
what
I
they
feel like
might do-
that would be.
Absolutely.
People would hate that.
Here's what
I
they
will
might
bet you
do.
guys money. You want to put money down? I'll do it. I'll bet $100. They force you to date specifically Eris. I will put money down.
All right. I don't want to put down
Honestly,
$100.
$100 dudes.
I want to take that bet because I think you're wrong, but I would feel bad winning $100.
Yeah.
You want to do 10? I'll do. I don't know, 50.
I will
10?
bet. I will bet you
do-
$10.
Let's do like 100 million slime coin. How about that?
I don't have any slime coin. Damn it, I'm broke. I will $10. All right, you and me, Ben. If you want to do it, give two. $10. It's on the books.
I have like absolutely no dog in this race at all.
Sure.
But my gut instinct is that is an iconic scene from the
That
original.
they will fuck up.
And for them to like it
They
would
might
be,
just not do it.
I feel like the mission statement of the remake is to pay homage to the original. And
I agree.
That would be the opposite of that. So I don't think they would do that.
Well, I haven't actually done the research. I believe, here's my evidence. I believe that they just removed, now, I need to test this, but I think that they removed the option of Don Corneo to take any girl back. It used to be Eris, Tifa, or Cloud, because I did it and I got Cloud. I think that he will always pick Cloud. Now, I'm not sure. I gotta double check that, because I get everyone the worst possible dress. In the remake, you can give them different dresses and stuff. So I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure that they already flattened that out. I mean, I'll stick to the bet,
Nate.
but
I will take the bet. The bet is
there it is.
That there will be a scene, if not exactly, a similar scene at like a similar point in the story, and they will allow you to. There will be a variable option that includes Barrett, and it will be a thing. I think so. I'll give 10 buckaroos.
I will give you anything. Just like, you don't need to define your position. My position is there will be a date. You will be forced to date Eris specifically. If anything else happens, like if the date happens in any other format, I will give you $10. I'm happy to take that bet.
So what if there's no date? Do I win?
Yes, you win. You win. Well, okay. I mean, that's just stupid, but I guess you win that too.
Okay. What if?
I think no one wins if that happens.
That's true. I think there will be a date. It's too iconic.
There will be a date. Yeah, no one wins if there's no date. Okay,
here's
fair.
what I think will happen. It won't. I think there will be a choice, but it will be very obvious. It won't be like cryptic like it was before.
They've already
which might be like a little bit like, oh, it's like just press the button, go up to the person to talk to them, and that's obviously it will be this.
Are you sure you want to initiate date with Barrett? Are you sure you don't want to save and go and like grind friendship points with someone else first? Are you sure you don't want to hit this button to just switch options right now? Careful.
Are you sure you want to get on
what
your bike and go back and forth to build up friendship with Barrett?
Drop him at daycare. Let him level up a few times.
I'm sure they'll fuck around with it, but there will be some sort of like variable thing.
I need to Google
I think
this.
They'll leave that in.
Can Don Corneo pick Eris FF7 Remake? I might have just been totally wrong about that. Wait. Clown.
If
Clown Strife.
Hey. So we were talking before about Animal Crossing and how I've unlocked I finally understand the true meta.
Yes, tell me.
It's now the time. Okay. So I've been grinding Animal Crossing, watering my flowers, breeding roses. Got a good little collection going.
Yeah,
that's all cool. But I have pierced the veil and seen the code behind the Matrix, and I understand the true meta of how to win Animal Crossing, and it is this. It's all about recipes. It is all about getting bells is about having more recipes because, and this unlocked the key to my potential, right? To my financial future. Every recipe that you make, every item that you craft sells for double the amount of what you would have sold the ingredients for. So the way to maximize your money is to have enough ingredients that you can use as many of your resources as possible to craft items. So what I've been doing is I've just been waiting for a hot item that I know how to craft, and then just blowing all my iron and all my wood and all my clay and stone and stuff, just making as many of it as possible.
Right.
Because it's double the price of the ingredients, and then it's double the price of that because it's a hot item. So you're quadrupling your value on these raw materials that you got, and that's it. It's you want to have as many recipes as possible so that you can make full advantage of the most of your ingredients. Like my friend Toby, he's got a coconut recipe. He's a palm tree lamp. I'm jealous because I have nothing I can do with these coconuts. I'm selling them at their base price. Wasted potential. Now, however, apparently, off like non-native fruit in
it
terms of
double,
like how.
Right?
More.
Okay.
Native fruit sells for 100. Non-native fruit sells for 500.
Oh, shit.
But a crafted recipe calculates the value as though it were just a native fruit. All fruit counts as native in terms of that. So you actually do get more just selling non-native fruit raw and not crafting it.
Okay.
But native fruit, like I've got apples. I've just been picking tons of apples, crafting them into apple umbrellas. I've just been selling all my apple umbrellas. Yesterday, the hot item was brick ovens, and so it was clay, iron, wood. I had like stacks and stacks of clay. Yeah. I spent it all, sold it all to the nooks, made like 100,000 bells. That's it. That's the meta.
Not bad.
Get recipes, take advantage of hot items, hoard resources for the moment. For the moment when it's your time to shine. You can use all those sticks and all those weeds or whatever. Yeah. Double your shit.
I've done that once or twice, a little bit, doing the hot item thing. I suspected that it was the right way to go, but good to have clarification on that.
It is the thing. If you're playing by yourself, the recipe will always be something that you have unlocked. I think because I'm not like the main Islander, like my friend Caleb owns the Switch, so it's his game. So I'm pretty sure it picks a recipe from things that he has. So sometimes it's something that I can't craft, but other times it is something like a DIY table or something. And it's like, okay, I've been grinding wood. Now's the time. Gotta spend it all. This is how to maximize its value. Oh man.
Okay, well there you go.
I'm so close to my fourth. I'm so close to getting that second side room.
Oh yeah. I have a back room and a left room in my house.
Yeah. That's where I'm almost at the right room. I have like 100. I would have gotten it today, but I decided to invest in turnips. I spent about 100. I invested about 100,000 bells. Huh?
That's the real money, right? That's how you get
It can be. It sometimes. I invested 100,000 bells in the turnips. Because last week, the turnip prices just went down. It was just a complete bust. It was terrible. It lost like half your investment. I didn't do it that week. This week, I'm counting on it being different. I'm waiting for it to peak around Wednesday, Thursday. Fingers crossed. And it'll all be worth it. And I'll have to wait a little bit. I have to wait a little bit on that house expansion, but it'll all be worth it in the end.
I've been trying to figure that out. How do I buy turnips? I have not figured this shit out.
On Sunday morning.
Okay.
Sometimes there is a little pig walking around who has a plate of turnips on her head, and she sells you the turnips.
Okay.
It's like before like 10 a.m. or like before noon on Sunday.
So you can only buy Sunday, but you can sell anytime.
You can buy on Sunday. You cannot sell them on Sunday. You can sell them to the Nooks on any other day.
Right.
And the price varies twice at midnight and at noon. The price changes. So you got to check at least twice a day if you really want to be on top of it. But if you wait until the next Sunday, your turnips all go bad. So you have to sell them before Sunday or it's all wasted.
I see. Hey, by the way, I was just trying to confirm this. I do believe that Don Corneo always picks Cloud in the remake. I have not found any evidence, so that's lame.
That's bad news. That's bad news for me.
It is.
That's bad news for my bet prospects. But
This is different though. I'm aware this is a different kind of situation, but I'm seeing a flattening of choices across the board, aka anti-soul. And
anti-soul.
It's anti-soul is being injected in just a moment. Like, don't freak out. People like the remakes. It's just one little moment. But yeah. Okay. So we will see when part 2 comes out in. Here's the joke, guys. 2045, give or take. Haha.
Hey,
I did it.
Wow, it'll be a long time.
We'll have forgotten by the bet by then.
Oh, I'm gonna write that one down. Commenters, please remind us. We're counting on you. The collective unconscious.
Oh no, the PCP episode 700.
Yes. Ooh, 777. Lucky. It's a lucky one.
Final Fantasy 7.
Ooh.
Did you guys know
wait, before what were you going to say?
I was just going to say,
video game.
Speaking of soul, did you guys know that at any point in Final Fantasy VII, if your HP ever hits for a character, for any reason, healing, taking damage, 7777 exactly, the character goes berserk. And this never happened to me at any time playing the game, but it can be manipulated to do so. Then you just do, I believe, 77 basic attacks in a row, which kills almost anything in the game, if it happens.
I did know that. I've never seen it.
I mean, God, there's so much soul in those games. Pretty cool.
Funny.
Anyway,
speaking of like doing like managing stuff and selling resources, I've been playing Slime Rancher.
Oh yeah, there's another one.
Hey.
And I'm pretty far in. I'm in the glass desert. I'm finding all the special guys, and I'm the slimes and the slimes.
Gib. Quick question about that. My main thought about the game, does that game have
you played it, Nate?
No, I've never played. I watched you play a little bit, you and Munchie. Does that game have a satisfying arc where like you grow resources which like unlocks new areas of the island to explore, and then you kind of
Yes.
Okay.
Basically. All right.
That sounds fun.
Yeah,
it sounds fun.
The loop is pretty fun.
Yeah.
And
I love that loop.
I've got to a point where I've got like drone bees that I can
I love
down.
the drone bees.
And so in the main area, I have all slimes that like fruit and their favorite fruit growing. So I have like one drone bee give all of the slimes fruit and one of the others collect the plorts and sell them. And so I have like hundreds of thousands of gold every time I walk through. I'm like, hey, yes.
You have to... You still have to like keep track of it because you have to like water your
to water
you have
the
to
bees.
water your drones or they get dehydrated and they can't collect your shit
which is
anymore.
silly because they're bees and also robots that like they'd be double like weak to water, you would think.
No, they love it.
But they love it. You splash them with a bit of water and they wake up and they continue. And yeah, I've been collecting all these things. I mean, it's just a fun game. I've never once. I guess I've been pretty careful. I've never once had a calamity in my ranch, and like all of like tar slimes have not appeared.
It's happened to me. I mean, if you've got like the water cannon, it's not that hard to deal with. Tar slimes die pretty quick.
They do, but like I've never even. I don't usually like making Largo slimes. I like having each slime, like a bunch of them, small and
You
in
you know,
like their own thing.
I had like I wasn't sure for a while whether, because like a Largo slime gives 2 podrins, lol.
Yeah.
A Largo slime gives 2 plorts when it eats.
Yeah.
But you can fit more small slimes. So like I think if you have like more resources to feed them, it's better to fill up a tank with small slimes. But if you have fewer like crops and you want to get more out of them, it's better to have Largo slimes. This is like my theory. I don't know if there's like a spreadsheet about this.
The thing with it is like, if I want to relocate, I can't do it with the Largo slimes without extreme bullshit. And with the smaller ones, if I need like, I wanted all the fruit enjoying, because the drone bees can like deal with vegetables or fruits or specific things, or like chickens, and plorts and all that. So I have all of like the vegetable slimes in one area, all of the meat slimes in another, and so in order to make that happen, I needed to transport like tons of slimes, and if they were Largo, that would have
you'd have to move them one at a time.
Yeah, which would be hell. So,
have you gotten to any of like the like bonus like end game content? The like side farm areas that have like weird shit to do.
Yeah. I've got to the guy who is like he wants you to find the purple fruit. I did all that. I got to the point where I have his ranch now, so I have more space.
Nice.
I've been doing the glitch slime simulations, which are pretty fun.
I didn't find that for like a long time. And like I got back into the game for like just for no reason after thinking I had done everything, and then I found that glitch slime area. I was like, what the fuck is this? I just like didn't find it.
Soul, baby.
It's have you done the Quicksilver slime stuff?
Yeah, I've just started that.
That's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun. I kind of didn't understand what some of the things do. I know you got to shoot the slimes, and I'm trying to figure out like the best strategy for doing it.
Yeah.
Because it seems like if you're running forwards and the slimes are running ahead of you, it's still hard to hit them. If you turn around, though, you can go like...
Yeah, you run backwards and shoot at the slimes coming at you. That was mostly how I did it. And you use the, like, you can use, like, the thunder shot to hit an area. I liked using, like, the time slow area to, like, group up a bunch together.
Yeah.
And just, like, fire into the crowd.
That reminds me of that...
it's a good fucking game.
It's a lot of, like... It's management and running around, and it's also cute. And I really like the sound effects. There's a specific sound effect where, like, I think it's just some stock thing, but it's in an old game of, like, the PC version of Cluedo from 1998, where it's like a click sound, a very distinct click sound that sounds like somebody switching off a light, but with, like, low bitrate or whatever. Like, click, click. And that's how you change the items on your hotbar. So it's like, ooh, I just enjoy doing that.
I know that whenever you right click to, I've said this before, but in Metal Gear Solid 5, when you right click to like aim a weapon, the click click as you like put the weapon into position is so satisfying to me. I just love aiming my weapon. It feels good. It's so tactile.
Foley artists, sound effects engineers are the unsung heroes of video games.
You're right. By the way,
they're so good when they're so good.
It's true, which is the only time I really remember this standing out to me was Metal Gear Solid 5. But the more I play games, the more I'm aware of all this stuff. By the way, the Quicksilver slime thing. There's just this meme on 4chan where, you know how metal slimes will run away really fast in Dragon Quest? There's there's a meme. I think it's metal slimes. There's a meme where you have an image of a thing, and when you click on an image in 4chan, you make it big. Actually, the image is a GIF, and the metal slime is there for exactly 1 frame, and then it disappears, and there's just an empty GIF for the rest of the rest of that's it. Because it runs away really fast. I love it. Every time I smile. Well, I've got voicemails. If you guys want to get to them. Feel free to keep going if there's something else you want.
I'm trying to think if I had anything else to say about Animal Crossing.
Sure. Did you have images for us, Ben? Did you want to give us your flag, which I wanted to see, your panini flag?
Yeah, I will put them in the... I will. Yeah, because my island is Yakitori Island, and a yakitori is like cooked. It's like a chicken kebab,
I want to see
basically.
Flower updates, garden pics.
I will show pictures of hey, somebody write a jingle. Somebody write a jingle for Ben's Rose Garden update or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll be a whole
Send us
segment.
a voicemail.
It'll be a whole side segment every week. I'll update you on how my garden is progressing, on how much my invasive rose species have taken over the island.
Ben's garden roses blacker than his soul. There you go. Cool. Start with that.
Go with it. Yeah, run with it. And yeah, I'll put a picture of the flag. I'll get a picture of that later. It's nice. It's
Sick.
cool. I'm proud of it. I feel like the multiplayer. I haven't sprung for the friggin' Nintendo subscription
When you
yet.
do, let me know, Ben. I'll be
but
here.
I want to because like you're playing it.
Yep.
I guess Michelle's playing it. Mage is playing it. I think Kazzy and Munchie are gonna start. They've been talking about getting it. And you know that's how you maximize your turnip gains.
Oh yeah.
Is you take your native fruit and you sell it on other islands, and you go to other islands and you sell your turnips there if they've got a good asking price that day.
Right.
Game the system.
Plus, what fruits
Short
have you
the market.
got? What fruits have you got right now?
I've got all 5 fruits now.
Oh God, I need to steal some of that. I've only
My
got
friend Toby went to he did multiplayer and he went to one of his friends' island and that guy had pears, which was the last one we've got. But I've got on my little sides, my little section of the island, my little peninsula that I live on, I have turned it into a peach grove. It's just peaches over there.
Nice. I have a peach
grove. Toby's
right
got
next to my
pears, and Caleb has oranges, and John's
question.
just got
How
trash,
close-
just nothing but trash.
How close are your peach trees together? Because I'm debating if I should move them to be a tighter knit thing. Do you have one space between them, or 2 or 3?
No, I have them pretty loose.
Pretty loose. Okay. I've got them in a nice grid.
There we have an orchard that's like that.
Yeah.
There's okay, so my friend John, he's building Trash Island. I think I mentioned this.
Yeah.
Well, I had an experience, right? I went on an expedition to a wild island, and it seemed like a normal island at first. But what I realized is that it is a trash island, and there were no fish. Only trash.
Oh, I see.
There was nothing in the water except trash to fish up. So I fished up tons of it, and I unlocked a recipe for trash wall and trash flooring.
Yeah, I did that too.
And I was like, well, I got to make this. So I made them, and I sent it to him, and they're in his house now, and we're all, it's cooperative.
Sick.
We're all working together for the betterment of mankind. If somebody wants trash, by God, we're going to give them trash.
Oh, that's beautiful.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Talking about slimes and Slime Rancher and puddle slimes reminded me of this funny little chart that I made for like a conversation in the Endless War Discord about types of slime girls that could exist.
LaCroix girls.
Yeah, totally formless and transparent. LaCroix girls.
Puddle slimes are basically LaCroix girls. So like there's the
this is interesting.
formless to viscous, so like the goopier they are.
Yeah.
And then saturated to transparent.
Dude,
we were trying to decide,
chart. This is the one that the people need to be on. Where am I?
Yeah. So these are all technically slime girls. We decided that is an umbrella term.
Yeah.
Because slime is the main thing of Endless War.
Sure.
But specifically types of types of slime girls. Goo girls are making a big thing. People are all up in what a goo girl is.
Goo Girls Limited is like an up-and-coming conglomeration.
Yeah, that's what started this thing.
Keep hearing about this.
I see.
I don't know if... I'm a little iffy on this whole... I feel like Golem Girls and Sludge Girls should be
swapped.
swapped.
I was
Golem
gonna
sounds
say, how
like,
can you say a
Golem
sludge
sounds like
is thicker than a
solidest form.
golem? Come on.
Yeah, I added the Golem Girls thing, but like I didn't want to have them overlap, and Sludge Girls was already there. It was like cooperative graph creation.
I see.
Like Glue Girls.
Glue
girls, yeah.
Because they're
Fully
transparent,
viscous.
but also like epoxy resin girls.
Ooh, I want that fruit juice
Gorilla
girls.
Glue Girls.
Ooh, I'd love an orange juice girl. That'd be excellent.
Yeah, an orange juice girl. That was like a glass of orange juice with an anime face.
And I forget, what is a gunge? What's a gunge girl?
Gunge is like the watery, extremely neon green slime that is used in Nickelodeon with dumping on the kids and stuff.
Okay, I see.
Oh, is it?
That's what it's called in the UK. Is you get gunged and then like
what the fuck?
Okay,
on Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon and things of that nature. You know those sorts of kids game shows where kids compete to do stuff, and if they fail, they get gross guns poured on them.
That is very perverse. I don't like it. I remember one time Carl Pilkington was talking about TV, and he called TV that he doesn't like glunge telly.
Maybe he's slightly misspeaking the word. Possibly.
Nobody knows what it means.
I think it's like a little.
I think he said glunge telly. I don't know. Classic moment. I love this. I'm gonna put myself. I want to be. I think I'm viscous formless. I'm kind of in the middle, but I'm heavily saturated. Like I'm kind of like right in the middle, like closer to the top. Yeah.
I feel like I've got to be further viscous than formless personally, and fairly saturated as well. That's where I feel.
You kind of about where ooze girls are?
Yeah, maybe slightly upper right, a little bit more, but yeah, in that area. That's where I feel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What slime girl are you? This is the chart.
I'm closest to ooze girl. Yeah, I suppose.
Let's see. A highly saturated, kind of middle of the road viscosity would be like No, there's already a jelly girl.
Yeah, like a really
like
sweet
maybe like
jelly, or really like some sort of toxic waste.
Syrup girl, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
Maybe syrup. I don't know.
I feel
That's kind of
girl
viscous, but kind of formless.
Maybe magma.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if magma.
I'll workshop it.
Yeah.
I'll workshop it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes,
Place
it's
yourselves on the chart, everyone.
Ooh, where would Mercury be? That's got to be.
Ooh, that's good.
How about
that would be a sort of like gunge, but all the way to the top.
It is certainly
very
saturated as
You
fuck.
cannot see through it.
Yeah.
But it is very liquidy.
Yeah, or Gunge Girls, but at the top.
think so.
Yeah. To the right of Fruit Juice
Yeah.
Girls, perhaps. Although, is Fruit
But
Juice really more...
But it's heavy, though. Mercury is, like, thick and heavy, even though it's very, like, fast-flowing. But it's...
Yeah. Like, all the way to the top, maybe middle to the right? I don't know. So, top, I'm not sure.
It's certainly not transparent.
Certainly not. Certainly. It's full
We can all agree on that. Experts agree.
They call it Quicksilver, so I feel like because it moves quick for a goop, it should be more formless. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. All right.
That's a good girl. It's a good girl.
We can debate the nuances of this, you know?
Indeed. We could spend all day with that, but we've got voicemails to get to. And,
oh, wait. Sorry,
yeah.
on the subject of slime, I do want to mention that the RFCK pin Kickstarter is doing really good. We've had a bunch of people have just pledged at, like, the $250 tier, which lets them just pick their own design, like no
sick.
vote. Like, they just get to choose what they want.
Cool.
We've had a bunch of people. We're up to, like, $3,000 almost.
Nice.
Which is what I was... hoping, $2,702, and the next pin design that we're gonna vote on will be at $3,000, unless someone else pledges the $250, and then it'll go up by that much. Because it's we get a voted one at every $250 of like free donations, as in not ones that are like, okay, this is specifically for this design I choose myself.
And I see that you have updated with all the pins that are available right now, are big in the center there.
We are getting the Cop Killer pin, Rowdy Fucker pin, Smear Ghost Nega Slime pin, the Slime Coin Challenge coin, which is like, it's like the big like sort of display coin.
Yeah.
It'll probably be like $50 silver dollar size.
So cool.
Roughly.
So cool.
We get the Slime Core pin. I'm glad that made it in. A sort of like night sky design by Labungus P and Smear like collaborated on that one.
It's glorious.
This one's I'm really excited about. Someone Taco chose an iron-on patch. You know how people wear like the German flag patch on their like shoulder? It's like that, but it's the Endless War flag.
That's really cool. I
think that's super cool, and I am gonna have to get a new jacket just to put it on.
Oh, it's so cool. I love it.
I know.
I remember all the struggles about choosing the perfect flag and all the voting and all the debating. I'm so happy with the flag that was eventually chosen.
It was like, it was like a huge ordeal. We did another like vote thing. Like people submitted their designs, then we had like a bunch of rounds of voting on them, and then like a couple of the winners like sort of got together in a call and like collaborate and sort of like put them all together and decided on like, okay, here's a good like sort of mixture of all the elements that we like.
It's great.
I like Endless War. I try to run it very democratically. I try to make it very, community driven.
Of course,
is one of the mission statements of it.
One of the main sustaining factors, I'd say.
That's what it be. That's what's up. That's what's happening.
I'm sorry, did you clarify that like at 3,000 there's like a new stretch goal or something? Because I just see
unless someone else donates the 250. The 3,000 would be the next time we hold like a vote on like which new design to make.
I see. Okay.
We actually got a little behind. Right now, it was further behind before, but it's caught up. We were behind where like more people had pledged to make specific design. We had voted on more designs than we had actually gotten money to make. So we were in the hole for a minute, and I was just gonna have to like pony up like a couple $100.
How did that even happen? Surely you mathed that out.
Okay, well, no, I didn't. That's the problem. Because like the initial goal, it was 600 at first. Later on, I decided that we could do it for 500, so I moved the stretch goals down later.
Sure.
But so effectively, the initial goal, it was $500 to make the first 2 pins, and then 250 on top of that. Basically, okay, we had a bunch of people had pledged, and it had been enough to fund. It ended up being the Smearg pin and the coin. And then I was like, hey, I've got an idea. If someone pledges 250, they're basically funding the whole pin themselves. They should be able to choose whatever they want. So I made that a tier. It's like, okay, $250 tier, pick your own pin. And a bunch of people, and I don't want anyone to like feel like they shouldn't have done this. It's fine. It all worked out. But some people that had already pledged upped their pledges to a 250 tier. So those previous
what they're actually doing is only adding like 200 or whatever.
Yeah, so their previous pledges had gone towards, like, you know, the amount that meant that we could have new pins to design.
Right.
So that was no longer going because now it was going towards, you know, an individually decided pin. So because we had already, you know, voted and agreed, like, yes, we will be making these two, the ghost and the coin, we ended up being, you know, in the hole for that.
I see.
But not anymore. We've like basically caught up now.
Well, cool.
I feel like I'm gonna up my pledge to get like the patch and the Slime Corp pin. Because
I want all of these. I
don't know whether will have the money to like buy all of them that get funded, but probably a lot.
Yeah. I'm rooting for, if we do another one, I'm hoping that the Muck Cup. I want the Podrin. I want the Podrin pin
as well.
And I would really like the Muck Cup badge too. Would be pretty cool.
What's this fucking Digimon with a hat going on here? What is that shit about?
Digimon with a hat?
There's like some white Nibba with blue on him with a backward. What's that guy's story?
That's Red 5 Rainbow. A couple of people just like submitted their own guys.
I mean, Pizza Chan, I know everyone loves Pizza Chan.
Everyone loves Pizza Chan. Yeah, it's, you know, there's a TFAP Redman.
Wait, what is this image you're looking at?
Scroll down on the Kickstarter page.
On the Kickstarter, the ones of like potential future designs.
Okay.
First one is Podrin and Muck Up, and then so some people were just like, "Hey, make me a pin," and I was like, "Well, I said I would accept anyone's submissions, so God damn it, I will."
Fair enough.
So I did it, and I put them on the list, and they're available to be voted on.
I wouldn't mind
if that's the will of the people, then so be it.
Pizza Chan's cool.
Sure.
Hey, one question, because I am going to pledge. I just wanted to decide when and how much. So I can pledge for a certain number of pins, and then is it afterward I'll be sent like a thing to like fill out a form of which ones I want? Is that the...
Yes.
Okay. So I can pledge now without worrying about which ones, if new ones get added or...
you can like if you pledge, 50 or whatever right now, then you get 5 pins. Right. And then after the Kickstarter's over, I'll send you a message and be like, okay, well, which 5 do you want?
Okay, gotcha. And the Slime Corp one is too. The slime...
Yes, people have been confused. I've said it a bunch of places, but people still are confused, so I should keep saying it over and over again. The coin counts as 2. So if you pledge for 2, you get the coin. You just get the coin. If you pledge for 3, you get the coin and 1 others, if you want the coin. Because the coin is like way bigger. And it's way more it's way more metal, you know? Yeah.
That's why I want it.
I want one.
I did make, by the way, Ben, a smoother version of the Red Man face if we needed that for a pin. I mean, if that got like funded or anything, because I don't know whether the harsh angles would.
Could you post it? I'd love to see it. Just
I saw that.
I posted it in the main chat.
Hippo, I saw that and I put it on. I thought I put it on this image. I definitely put it on the next like grid for voting. I thought I had updated this one with it too. I guess I didn't, but I have that. I made like a pin mock-up out of it, and I just forgot to friggin' put it
Okay.
here.
Nice.
Yeah.
It would be very hilarious to have a silly red
Yes.
It would be pretty funny.
I do like Redman a lot.
Red man, it's the boy. He's so fucking weird. Oh,
His
jeez.
face is off.
Is that red? Is that red on the list?
Hmm?
Well, because there's only certain colors available.
This red I didn't check.
Oh, good,
exact
good question.
The red selection is pretty robust, so probably something very similar would be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like especially like greens. Like there's a couple of like they don't have any greens that are like quite what I would have wanted. They're like none of them are quite as bright as I want. It's kind of a shame, but like yeah, you there's a guide. There's like a formula. There's a Pantone guide, and it's like okay, all the colors that we can use on the pins have to be from this selection. Although it's weird because there's no white on that list, and yet I know that white is available because I got the Poobah pins and the Endless War pins.
Yeah.
Not the Endless, and the Infinite Jest pins, and they've got white on them. So I sent them an email asking like, hey, what's up with that? Is there like other colors that are available that aren't on the list? Like, I don't know, because I would like to know. But it's a little weird. But white is definitely a thing. But yeah, gotta follow the guide.
I'm just looking.
Anyway,
I was curious about like the challenge coin and the one below it, like the RFCK town or whatever with Endless War. Those are like fairly intricate, but I assume none of those are even I guess the Cop Killer and the Munchie one.
They should be the one with the sky.
Yeah.
It might cost like $5 more to make because it has like I think it has 6 colors instead of 5.
Yeah.
But like it's like not even a big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it can be as intricate as it wants to be as long as like the metal sections are like a minimum width
Size.
They have to be like a like 0.2 millimeters or maybe like or half a millimeter.
Yeah. Cool.
And like
all right.
it's not it's you can get pretty fine with the detail and like you can even put like a hole like on the Slime Corp pin. If you'd wanted, I could have put like little gaps in between like the red parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like you can get like what's called cutouts, like holes in the design. It costs a little bit more, but like not that much more. It's doable.
Sure.
So yeah, they can fucking they can make them fucking any old friggin' way you dang want.
Pretty fucking
Hey Ben,
sick.
how did you make these images? Was it like did you just put it in and it makes an auto-generated like fake thing, or did you actually like Photoshop?
No, I Photoshop them. I have a process. It's
Could you do a YouTube tutorial explaining?
Do you want me to?
I really would, because it looks great. It's
do look great.
Such a really good way to make it look 3D and shiny.
I could straight up do that if you wanted.
One man wants it at least. I'd watch it. I'm curious.
I could explain the technique, or I could, yeah, all right. Maybe I'll just make a little tutorial. It's like how to do the very specific thing of taking an image and making it look like a pseudo 3D shiny pin, Lamau. I have a little technique that I just go through with them. It takes me like 5-10 minutes a piece. Yeah. It's not that complicated.
I could probably figure it out, but like, there's a few things I'm not quite sure about.
I'll do it because it's I'm a genius. Only I could have done this. I must share my technique with the world.
It's the grand follow-up to the Jennifer Diane Wright's lecture that everyone's been waiting for: how to turn an image into a pin, into a shiny pin.
Maybe I don't want it. Maybe I don't want to like shit up my channel with that.
Oh well.
No, you can advertise the Kickstarter
anything.
at the same time.
That's true.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true. That wouldn't hurt.
That's true. It would also serve as a ad for the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, well, we'll let Ben debate that inward struggle for a long time on his own. Let us now get to our voicemails. We've got like...
How many?
8 total.
Oh, Christ.
Don't worry. We'll move through them quickly.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Okay, first up is a fitter weeb than Nate. Has something to say. Let's listen. Go.
Hey, PCP, just finished the old workout, because when you're quarantined in your apartment, what else are you going to do? Like any good anime trash panda, I listen to a decent amount of OPs, EDs, and covers while I lift and run and do all the other things that Nate claims that he does but never gets around to doing. Listening on this music got me thinking, though. Are covers of music really art? All you're doing is trying to imitate the work of, let's face it, more talented musicians and writers. Maybe there's some argument to be made that when you have to translate lyrics, there's some value in that. But it still seems like a lesser art form. Nobody cares about the copies of the Mona Lisa, no matter how good they are, after all. Anyways, what do you guys and gals think?
Simple. A good cover is a reinterpretation of the original song.
To a degree. Well, he said two things in there. He said, is it art? But then later he said, like, is less art. You could certainly make a case that it's, like, lesser art.
I mean, I think that everything that's lesser, like, everything that's unoriginal about a thing is a point against it. So, yeah, to an extent, I agree. But I think there is an art to doing a cover. And, like, you can take an old song and do an original twist on it. And that's a good cover if you do it well.
I feel like generally, if the cover is trying to do its own thing too much, but it's still recognizable as the first thing, it's just annoying, and I'd rather listen to the real thing. Like, very rarely does a cover, like, transcend the original.
You are forgetting about the techno remix of Discord.
Yeah.
That's a remix, right? That's a different sort of thing. If we're talking about covers...
I suppose.
Where do you draw the line?
That's true.
I mean,
they're all in the same ballpark, I'd say.
I feel like a cover is just, like a lady singing a song, but doing like a little stranger, like.
Well, you've just described a shitty cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about the best cover ever? Hey, for example, I think Nina Simone originally made the song "Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood," but then the Monkees. No, wait, it was it? Fuck, no. Who was it? It was the Animals, not the fucking Monkees. The Animals made the most famous version of Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood that most people know. That was a cover of a song. And I mean, throughout history of music, there have been many famous songs that are more popular and more beloved in their remake form than in their original.
Shout outs to the Ooga Chaka cover of Hooked on a Feelin'.
Indeed.
That isn't the original?
No.
Wow.
No, it is not.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
I always thought it was strange.
I guess it comes down to...
I don't know. There's a good there's a Todd in the Shadows video about that song. And apparently there was like another cover of it that also says Ooga Chaka.
Strange.
And
Strange.
Nobody, he doesn't have any like explanation for why it's there.
Maybe it's actually a cover of the Animals version, or not the Animals. Whoever made that, fucking Wumba, whatever the fuck.
Bjorn Skiffs.
Okay, I'm fucking up my band names.
Well, Blue Suede is the ones that did the cover. I don't know, there's like 4 different covers of it, so I don't even know who's the original.
As with everything, I will say remakes and redos can be good, but nonetheless, I always think it's a waste of time, which is different, by the way, from a remaster. A remaster is a different sort of animal and can usually be.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, like
that's wild. That's a wild opinion.
Well, like if the Beatles go and remaster like their album and then re-release it as Nate, like slightly crispier.
I still don't like it,
Nate,
but they're different things.
A cover is a reinterpretation of source material. A remaster is literally just the same thing again.
Okay, you know
literally
what?
the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, we can spend. All right, maybe my definitions are fucked up. We'll worry about that later. Okay. By the way, I forgot to say, SpeakPipe is where you leave the voicemails at the beginning. There's
a good cover brings something new to the table in the way it interprets the thing, and in that way, yes, it is definitely art in and of itself.
Yeah.
But Ben, isn't it fair to say that any cover will introduce things that are different that you could call introducing something new, even if it's just like the vocal inflections of the singer?
Yes, of course that's true. What's your point?
Then doesn't it just matter? Like it's a matter of deducing, is that change good or bad? So you just have to have a totally separate conversation of,
Yes.
What is the nature?
You idiot. Nate, you friggin' idiot. Obviously, yes, you have to determine, did the change make it better or worse? Obviously.
Yeah, Ben was not making a quality judgment. He was just saying it is art. Like, I don't think like quality necessarily has anything to do with whether something is like changes something. You can change something in a bad way or a good way. That's the original question was about whether or not it counts as art.
Which I think we all basically agree with yes.
Didn't you just say no? Didn't you just say they're a waste of time?
Well, just because something's a waste of time doesn't make it not art. It might just be bad, or
Well, okay. Are you? No, I'm not going to let this go. Are you?
Okay.
Are you really going to put your flag in the sand right here and say that all covers are or what was the other thing you said?
Remastered?
No, you said you liked remasters. What was the other thing you said?
I didn't even say I liked remastered. I said they were a different thing.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Okay, let's just stick with covers. Are you really going to stick your foot in the sand and say all covers are a waste of time?
Well, okay. Well, you say a waste. I wouldn't recommend it. I think your energy is better spent making original stuff. I'm aware
Are you
that
talking about making it or consuming it?
Making
okay,
it, probably?
right, because that is a distinction. I'm talking about making it.
I sometimes feel that because it's like, from a monetary standpoint at least, you're not able to profit off of the work you put in as much as if it was an original thing. Because you got to.
I just want new ideas.
You got to pay royalties to the original.
Look. Okay, you're not always in control of your own creativity. Sometimes, like, imagine you hear a song and you're like, ooh, this is a good song, but like, what if it did this instead of this? Like, ooh, like, what if it was kind of performed like this a little differently? Like, that would like totally change the feel of it. That like it could sound really good that way. That's a good idea. That would sound good. And then so you go and you record it and you produce it and you make a new version of the song and it's a cover. Like, why is that a waste of time?
I guess when I think about it, I of course I have the FF7 Remake in my mind. There is a major distinction here in terms of the medium, because music is inherent. Like, you can make music way faster than a video game, and the cultural impact of these things is very different. When like the company makes a remake of a thing, it's like there was the original, there were a bunch of remasters for various platforms. Now there is the remake, and like that's what exists. When you've got like lots of people able to make covers all the time, like sure, it can, like the whatever, like Nina Simone's version of "Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood" kind of has been forgotten for like the Animals cover because it's more popular and people like it more. Is that bad? I don't know, but it's a different situation because it's not like the copyright holders of the song made another version of their thing. It basically is like a fan version that happened to be popular. There was no like corporate stamp saying we need to upgrade this thing. I don't know. It's just different, and there's nuance to it. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. There's words.
I'm satisfied. All right.
Let us go to our next voicemail, which is from your loyal fan. All right, take it away. Good.
Hi, PCP. It's me, your loyal fan. I just wanted to say that these lectures lately have been amazing. They've been worth every penny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Truly the best content you guys ever make are these long-form, deep dive, personal lectures as a team. I mean, it's just...
Probably true.
More of these. And you know what? We shouldn't have to wait for RadCon to do these. Just hop into a Discord, everybody be in a chat, and just do like a podcast recording style lecture. Like, this shit is so good. I'm addicted. I'm a coke addict, is what I'm saying.
This is the one I was thinking about before.
I understand the desire, but I just don't think it would be that simple.
It would be like a Procrastinators podcast. Like, with the small latency issues, somebody... Like, there's always going to be a difficulty with trying to be the main guy when everyone else can interject as loud as, like equally loud. When you're standing up and everyone is sitting down, it's a very different atmosphere.
That is true.
I don't think there are enough things in the world that I could make, like, a lecture-length video discussing that I would have, like, the interest in making.
I feel that way.
I don't think I could do that, like, once a month or that much. Like, I would run out of things.
I would have to like investigate and spend some time to like learn about things. It could be done, but I'm also I agree with Ben's point such that I'm happy to space these things out, maybe like once a year, that you'll get one, maybe two from me.
Like,
we can stretch that out
they're all
for a while.
things that I have like a long-standing interest in.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could find a new thing and like deep dive it and then.
But would it be soulful, Ben? Would that have soul?
I feel like
That's
it might.
The question.
I feel like it could end up having less soul, perhaps.
That's the risk.
I would argue that is the risk.
I think this was one of the negatives of my Final Fantasy lecture. By covering the whole series, including like 11 and 14, which I've like barely played, if at all, and don't care about, that I just felt I had to as a checklist.
Yeah, it has to be something that I'm genuinely interested in, and I can't make that happen.
Indeed.
I'm definitely going to do a better job next time. I feel like I didn't didn't truly explain. I mean, it's a silly topic. The Vriska.
Are you going to do Vriska 102?
I literally could, because I didn't talk about the epilogues or Homestuck 2, which I might
be
read.
A funny follow-up.
But Homestuck 2 could go on for years, and I'd rather have that finish before I even think about that. But
sure.
I could do one on the entirety of Homestuck, which would be hilarious because of how long it is. But there's also other things that I have. Like, I have a big interest in. And
that's
I'd
a
love
good
to hear
one.
About that. Yeah,
I only know like of the very minimum about that, but like from what I know, I think that could make a really good lecture.
Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
And that's potential. In fact, actually, Eleazar, cut that out,
good.
bleep it, so that nobody knows what it is.
Okay, yeah.
Just in case somebody has
the
the smart idea of like stealing my lecture before I have a chance to do it.
Oh yeah, I do hate that. And it's a different situation because it's not us or anything, but like on this idea of like the online ones, I am curious to hear what the reception to like Ash Vampires like Bionicle one. I'll be curious to see what people think about that in terms of the format and whatnot. Just just for fun.
Hype.
But no matter. In any case, let us move on to our next voicemail.
Please.
Here. This is the FF7 Mandela effect. Okay, go.
So I was sleeping after jacking off for like 10 times because I'm in quarantine, And then Nelson Mandela came to my bed and with his black magic transported me to a parallel universe where the Final Fantasy VII Remake is good. It's amazing. The box art is actually a square. They made it specifically a square despite all other PS4 covers being rectangle. They even made it soft, like soft square. I think the box is made of Japanese noodles. Also, there's no gay shit. Like fuck that. Here, there's only heterosexual shit. Speaking of that, Tifa's tits are huge. Like, not that huge that Ben Zane would come instantly at the mare's side, but bro, they are big. Her thighs also are big. Mm-hmm. So, too bad for you. But in this universe, the remake is great.
I dream.
Too bad that in this universe, Hitler won.
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for a twist.
I'll take that trade any day of the week.
Hitler won. The Japanese became the master race of the Oriental world, and so Square was better than ever. Mm-hmm. All their video games were great.
Fantastic! I'm glad that happened.
Spectacular.
Let me get in on that. All right, but let's go next. We've got a message from Marlo. And bear with me.
Marlo.
Okay, here we go. Marlo. I don't know.
Marlo Chia.
Just watched the One Piece lecture. It was great. Loved it. Learned a lot. Cool. And I feel like I should tell you, Nate, there is a real-life version of the One Piece treasure that you could pursue. You could have your own One Piece-style adventure, your own hero's journey, if you wanted to. So there's this guy, Forrest Fenn, who's born in 1930, and he grew up reading the first chapters of One Piece, and 70-odd years later, he amassed a fortune so he could make One Piece real. And he had a treasure, the Fenn treasure, like over $1 million, somewhere in the red line of the United States, being the Rocky Mountains. And he left this poem that gives cryptic directions to the treasure. So if this is something you're interested in, I suggest you investigate it further.
What did he say? It was called?
I looked this up. There was something called Fenn's Treasure, a cache of gold and jewels, which this man, Forrest Fenn, an art dealer from Santa Fe, New Mexico, claims, before he died, is hidden in the Rocky Mountains of the United States. And he did leave cryptic clues to try to get people to go find it. It has not been found. It may not exist, just like One Piece, potentially, but it's supposed to be out there. And put a bunch of money together for it.
What's that game? There was like an old game.
Oregon Trail.
No, shut up, idiot. Fuck.
Guess who?
Wait, leave me alone. I gotta find this thing. I want to bring this up. It's relevant.
Okay.
I gotta concentrate. Find the content. No, keep talking. World
of Warcraft.
Keep saying video games.
League of Legends.
Final Fantasy 2.
Team Fortress 2.
Is it a board game? Is it a video game? Is it a...
Endless War.
War Fortress?
Masquerade. Masquerade.
Vampire.
Oh yeah. Okay. There is. What's the video game version? Okay, there is a.
This
is all gonna make sense. This is all gonna make sense. There was a book. There was a book called Masquerade, and it was an art book by a guy named Kit Williams. And the art in the book was like it contained like cryptic hints that if you solved the puzzles, you could find a real treasure that was buried somewhere in England. It was like a piece of like golden jewelry. It was a golden hair. It was like a rabbit pendant, right?
Oh, okay.
And yeah. So that was like it was like a really popular book. It was an international sensation.
Did that happen?
Yes.
Cool.
And there was like due to some like weird, like the guy who like won the contest with an asterisk. There's an asterisk on he won it. But he got the hair. And he like used it as startup capital to start a company, and he basically like self-funded a video game sequel to Masquerade that purported to also tell you where you could find the golden hair.
That's so cool.
Well, it was awful. It was a terrible game, and probably it was a scam, and probably there was no treasure. Fuck. There is a great fucking video on YouTube about this.
YouTube.com?
Is this Sword Quest Atari, or is that something else?
Wait,
was this an old video game?
It's
like early days?
It's on like the old frickin' Atari or whatever. Who is this? Okay, I gotta look at my subscriptions.
All right.
Because I'm subscribed to this guy. He does these like he's done a couple of like really interesting videos talking about like old games you've never heard of and shit. And he is just like.
It reminds me of that one AVGN episode where he's talking about Sword Quest, which is a game that gave out real gold prizes for beating the Atari game, and
like the chalice and the crown and the sword and whatever.
And like the real mystery is like where the final prizes are, because all the games didn't come out because they went bust. It's like, where's the fucking magical sword?
Wait, Masquerade, golden.
Ben, I found it. It's called Haeraiser. It's called Haeraiser.
Yes, that's
it. It was on the Wikipedia page. Yeah.
Okay, there. Okay,
it was in 1984.
There is a really interesting video. It is delivered by a guy named Stuart Ashen, and the video is called Haeraiser, the worst game ever. Stuart Ashen, Norwich Gaming Festival 2017. He tells the whole story of the original Masquerade and the video game follow-up. And why it's the worst game ever made. Great video. Love it.
Link it, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Man, I'm sorry that took me so long to remember, but I found it.
I forgot why it was relevant.
Because this man said, Nate, go do a IRL One Piece.
Yes,
There's a guy.
Because it's also about a real-life treasure hunt.
Like Fenn's treasure, which is apparently still out there. Maybe I will one day. Maybe I will one of these days.
I got
but not today.
For you.
Is it the friends we made along the way?
Yes, it's the adventure. The adventure is the prize. I want to open the chest and see that. All right. Next voicemail. This one is from the ghost of Ghost in the Shell Best Anime Ever. Let's hear what he has to say. Take it away.
Nate.
Yeah.
It's me. Ghost in the Shell Best Anime Ever.
Oh.
Where the fuck am I?
Dead, apparently.
It's been like 5 years.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
No.
Shame.
I like
shame.
How he's just shame. He doesn't even have like a voice modulator.
Shame.
He's just a very simple ghost.
He needs to work on his spooky wailing a little bit.
Yeah. He's a ghost who doesn't even exist. He doesn't even have Gesamtkurzwerk, just like that video also does not, because it doesn't exist. Maybe one day. We'll see what happens.
One day you'll make like one frame of progress.
That'll be a heady day, a weighty day on my head. But again, that day will also not be today. Moving on to the next voicemail.
Base.
Sigh of Relief. Okay. Last time Sigh of Relief had a message for us that was too long, but today has a brief voicemail. So let's give it a listen. Take it away.
Advertising it again. Fuck it quick this time. We're doing a Pro Crastinators rewatch, starting from the beginning and going all the way up to re-experience the lore. old fans, new fans, people who didn't get to see pre-PCP shit, friends you want to get into the PCP, everyone. We're going to be starting back in the horseshoe days, watch the important moments, the memes, memorable videos. We're going to skip the vlog bullshit unless it's cool, kind of like a book club. There's a legacy feed, and all you need to do is sit back and watch the content flood in like the stupid pig you are, and talk about it with your bros in the Discord. Again, link to the Discord is in the description and also on the Reddit.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll
put a link to that
week,
video
right?
again. Yeah, we did, but he or Sai didn't have a fucking the voicemail was too damn long is my point. So we just put a link, but there you go. There's your Sai is calling you to go do the PCP rewatch.
When is it
have a good time.
supposed to happen?
It's it might have already started. I'm not totally sure, but we'll click the link below. It'll take you to the video, which will have a link to the Discord, and Sai will show you the path, the truth, and the light.
Good.
There you go. That's it. All
very,
right, moving on.
Very funny. Very funny that they're doing that.
That's great. There is good shit there. Old thing good. Old thing good. So enjoy.
Old thing good, new thing
Current
bad.
thing bad that we're doing.
Now
Current
you can
thing
learn
bad.
just how bad new thing by seeing how good old thing.
We've got FF7 Remake also calling in. Okay, take it away.
Two things. One, I am exercising right fucking now, like you should all be
Cool.
doing in quarantine. Bring back hashtag PCP Fitboy. Second thing about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. God, when you get to the missions in when you get to Seventh Heaven and like the Tifa bar shit, and you're in that town. Why is there side quests that are like the worst parts of Fallout? Why do the characters look like fucking Bethesda bullshit characters that like have dramatic dialogue, but the model like barely moves at all? And they're like, go kill some rats out by my shop, and then you kill the fucking rats, and you come back, and he's like, those were the wrong rats, you idiot. What the fuck is that? Why is
those are my rats?
Got so much shit that the original didn't have. Why did they put all this shit in here?
Had to pad the runtime. Limited story,
You don't have to pad the runtime. Games don't need to be a certain length.
When you make a video game, you got to make sure it's at least a little bad.
That was the thing. The game was too good.
Yeah.
They had to make sure there was some cringe in among all the based. So they did it. They took one for the team. It was wisely done. Favorite Fallout game, Final Fantasy VII. Okay, there you go. And yes, be a fit boy, everybody. Exercise. Don't be a piece of shit like I've been for a while. Exercise yesterday. Feeling sore, but good. Also do yoga. Stretch your ass. Ooh, Google, I'll tell you what the yoga thing I've been doing. It's 10 minutes. It's incredibly easy. It's Kassandra morning yoga. Boom, there it is. 10-minute yoga, full body stretch. This is based and will keep you limber and powerful for your life. So there you go. Watch yoga and do this shit. It's great. Okay, anyway, we've got one final voicemail. It is... okay, this one's epic, Ben. You're going to love it. It's Ben Saint says something leftist. Rest of the PCP. This voicemail. Okay, so let's hear what we have to say. Oh, shit, I'm in the wrong
Should I
chat.
say something leftist beforehand?
Yeah, please do. What do you got?
Okay, guys. In my humble opinion, wage theft, not a fan.
Okay.
Not a fan of that. I think.
Rest of the PCP.
You useless piece of shit. You absolute waste of space and air. You uneducated, ignorant, idiotic, dumb swine. You're an absolute embarrassment to humanity and all life as a whole. The magnitude of your failure just now is so indescribably massive that 100 years into the future, your name will be used as an insult by edgy 12-year-olds. Even if all of humanity put together their collective intelligence, there is no conceivable way they could have thought of a way to fuck up on the unimaginable scale you just did. When Jesus died for our sins, he must not have seen the sacrilegious act we just witnessed you performing, because if he did, he would have forsaken humanity long ago so that your birth may have never become reality. After you die, your skeleton will be displayed in a museum after being scientifically researched so that all future generations may learn not to generate your bone structure, because every tiny detail anyone may have in common with you degrades them to a useless piece of trash and a burden on society. We might as well never have formed the PCP, because surely not any amount of rotten adults would be able to affect the world as negatively as you just did. The only reason I am not reporting you to the police as we speak is that I know for a fact that their weak, pathetic prisons will never be able to hold such an indescribable evil. No wonder your dad did when you were little. It turns out he was trying to guard the world from the colossal mistake he had created.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Keep going. Come on, that's all you got?
And stay out.
That's for starters. That's for starters.
You know what, you know what? Shit, maybe wage theft's pretty good after all.
Yeah, I got to agree.
Damn.
I gotta agree on that. It's been a pleasure as usual, everybody. But that's it. Hey, leave us more voicemails. SpeakPipe. That was the last one. SpeakPipe link down below. Leave us voicemails. Epic goofs and gaffs are welcome. Shitty cringe posts are banished. Also,
and also
give
welcome.
us money for bonus episodes at patreon.com/theprocrastinators. There will be a new bonus episode in a couple of days, I think. Maybe like 5-6 days after you hear this. Something like that. Maybe a week. And that will be simply epic. There's like 36 of them already. So for a $5 pledge on Patreon, you get a lot of fucking episodes of this shit.
How many? Like 100?
Something like that. 36, I believe. There'll be 37 soon. Also, follow us on Twitter for all the updates of various RadCon things coming out, streams we're doing, etc. at TP Crastinators. Follow that for all that good stuff. And check out the links to everything these guys were talking about. The Endless War pin fucking Kickstarter still going, active. I'm gonna pledge to that so I can get my pins.
My most I said Munchie was like, oh, I don't think it's gonna make a lot of money. I don't think maybe we'll make like 1,000. I was like, I bet if we're lucky we can make 3,000. You're
right about that.
We're definitely gonna pass 3,000.
I think I'm gonna go over the $50 tier myself. 5 pins. Sounds about right.
And maybe if we're real lucky, I won't even have to shell it out of my own pocket because I fucked up and didn't calculate things right. Woo!
Let's hope so. So that's
go,
it. Oh, yeah,
go to giveandtake.site to read my comics, The Bale Jape and the Lord of Ghosts.
I'm behind. I'm behind on Lord of Ghosts. I gotta catch up on Lord of Ghosts.
It's so funny that I've taken so long to get the chapter 4 of Lord of Ghosts done, and you have still not catched up. It's not that
I'm waiting pages. I want to binge. I'm waiting. Wait, just tell me when it's done. I'll binge it.
Ben is a binger. He is a chronic binger. That's true.
Read my comics.
Read the comic. Hey, I make videos sometimes on Best Guy Ever. New one coming soon. You'll see it over there. Go check it out, don't you? Pretty good. And that's it. End of PCP. See you again next week, folks.
Fuck yeah, another one in the bag.
Another one finished and beyond us. We can move on with our lives. See you soon, everybody. Have
Peace
a good week.
Out, fucks.
Bye.
Goodbye.